All right, everyone, welcome to the Survivor Michigan All-Stars Fantasy Draft. We have a great lineup here of contestants who are going to draft teams, and then throughout the season, we'll see how they do and who will be the ultimate draft winner. And the winner will receive a Survivor Michigan All-Stars poster, so that's very exciting. Ooh. So could each one of you guys just introduce yourselves real quick and just say, why you wanted to participate in this, I guess, or what your relationship is with the show?
Hi, I'm Lee. I'm from Ireland, so it's midnight right now. Um, you probably, if you're on Discord or looking through the comment section of season 4, I'm the one that constantly complains about everyone. I've gotten better, sort of. Survivor Michigan Victor's Valiant was my first introduction to college Survivor in general, and it really got me through like the pandemic and got me into college Survivor. Some would say way too much. I would say yes. And why I wanted to do this, Michigan was the reason I got to connect with people that I know today, and this would be a way to be a part of it without going to the school.
Yeah, sure. Hi guys. My name is Harry. In case you can't tell, I'm also from the other across the pond, I guess, but I'm from England. As you can see as well, I've got a lovely season 4 poster here. So I worked hard for that. I came second in the competition. So I mean, I've loved Survivor Michigan. I think I started watching it season 2. I think like late 2019. And a reason I love it is because it's always quite forward thinking with the editing. And also like it's a lot more accessible to me than actual Survivor. Like I don't have to go on any illicit websites to go and find like the latest episode. I can just go on YouTube. It's like way easier. So yeah, I look forward to drafting. I've got some niche picks, I think. I'm hoping that I'll like choose some people that might fly under the radar and get a few steals, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, lovely to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so cool to have people from, all over the world on this. That's super cool.
So I'm Trevor. I guess my story with College Survivor is in about 2017, 18, like the fall of 2018. My brother and I are both in college together, and he said, "Hey, there's this thing called College Survivor at places like University of Maryland, University of Michigan, like the University of Ohio State, that are, I think we'd be able to do it." So we were able to do it ourselves, ran a couple seasons. In the process of editing, I feel your pain, Ian. Then Michigan's been one that I've just been excited to come out and everything, and just wanted to take part in one of our inspirations to kind of club. So it's Survivor CNU, Christopher Newport University.
Yeah.
We have seasons 1 through 3 on YouTube right now, and season 4 is as we speak.
Epic. So everyone should go check that out.
Hello, I'm Zach. My involvement, so actually I did production at OSU for our college survivors. So go Bucks. Sorry guys. How to do it to ya. Oh, okay. Sorry, I started it. But I actually applied to be contestant on season 1 at OSU, and they didn't accept me, which is, I think, their fault, but whatever. So then I did 7 seasons of production there, and I started with Survivor Michigan with season 2. Me and Richard, one of our contestants, like watched the whole season together like every week. And I just kind of stuck with it. And I love what you guys have done with like your editing. I'm currently editing our 3rd season. I'm like, I wish our contestants had as much fun as you guys are having. They're a little bit more stressed out, I feel like, compared to the fun stuff that I see from you guys. So and the reason I wanted to do this draft is I just want to support all the queens in this cast. I'm super excited. My team may be like, we may score the lowest, but it's going to be the cutest team here. So that's what I'm here for.
Awesome. I always say that the only good thing to come out of the Ohio State University is Survivor Ohio State. So, may not be a fan of your football team, but we respect your Survivor club.
Yeah, and, enemies on the field, but allies in Survivor. I feel like
exactly
that's how it should go.
Yeah.
With you mini coming somewhat soon.
And then last but not least, who cannot join us by video, but we have him over the phone, is Ryan. So Ryan, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm having a lot of like computer troubles, but my name's Ryan. I'm from another Big Ten school whose logo is a big gold M, the University of Minnesota. I first got into College Survivor in like 2020 during the pandemic. I watched a lot of Maryland, and I got into Survivor Michigan, and just a lot of great characters, a lot of great editing. I just really love this show. You put so much work into it, and just I want to give back by participating in this draft.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. So yeah, we're super excited to have everybody here. Matthew is pretty much going to run this thing and explain to you guys all the rules and how it's going to work. And I'll just kind of let him take it from there. I might jump in with some commentary on some of your picks, but for the most part, let you guys and Matthew kind of run the rest of this show.
All right, so I will share my screen, which will have our lovely draft board. So hopefully everybody can see that. Can everybody see this? Can everybody see my screen? Give a thumbs up. I feel like I'm in a meeting right now, but looks like we're good. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'll just go over some rules real quick to kind of how the draft's going to work just for anybody watching. And I know you guys have these as well. So there are going to be 5 teams. So there are 5 people making picks, and there'll be 4 rounds. So 20 players will be picked. It'll be a snake draft. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 will have picks 5 and 6. There'll be 20 players picked. 1 player will not be picked. Whoever has the first boot on their team will then get the 1 not picked player added to their team. So kind of get a mulligan, and you'll get whatever points. You'll get points for the first boot if they get any points. And then you'll also get points for the person that joins your team. So wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have the first boot, because then you'll still get somebody else who could get you points. The scoring. So here's how the scoring will work. So not super complicated. Your player advances a placement, you get 1 point. So essentially, if somebody goes home and it's not your player, you'll get 1 point for your player. If your player gets a vote at final tribal council, that will be 1 point. If your player finds an idol or an advantage, that'll be 2 points. Your player plays an idol or an advantage successfully, that will be 3 points. Ian and I have already decided which, if there are any idle plays or advantages throughout the season, which ones will count. So there's going to be no gray areas or anything like that. You guys haven't made your picks yet. We've already decided who's going to get points for what. So no, there will be no subjectivity there. If your player says the episode title, that'll be 1 point. If your player wins immunity, that'll be a point. And then if your player surpasses their original placement, that will be 1 point. So for example, the first boot of season 1, Sarah Gallagher got 18th place. So if she gets better than 18th place, then you'll get a point. And that's basically how it will work. A couple other things before we get going. So we've got a little side quest. There are going to be 3 advantages available for the draft, which we will decide right now. So I'll explain how those are going to work. So if everybody has access to the chat function, I can pull it up as well, or Ian, if you're able to see it. There are 3 advantages. You can only get 1 max, so nobody's going to be able to get all 3 advantages. So I'm going to ask a question that's going to be the response to one of the player cards we've been posting on Instagram. So hopefully honor code, don't pull them up and look at them right now or anything like that. I'm just going to read you somebody's response, and then whoever puts in the chat, who it was first, will get advantage 1. Then we'll do the second one. Whoever gets that will get advantage 2. And then somebody will get advantage 3. Spelling does count. Spelling should be pretty easy. You can guess as many times as you want. So if you want to spam guess every single person, if you get it first, then you get it. And the advantages are hidden, so you don't know if advantage 1 is better than 2 or 2 is better than 3 or whatnot. So if everybody's ready, I'll read the first one. Ian, you're able to see the chat?
Yeah, I can see the chat.
Okay, so I'm just going to read. It's like a question, and then you have to guess who responded. Who said this? A typical Sunday looks like: grab a beer for the shower, grab a beer for the walk. Also, wait till I'm done reading it, and then you can answer. We'll do it that way. Does that sound good? Okay. All right. Who said a typical Sunday looks like: grab a beer for the shower, grab a beer for the walk, arrive at the tailgate, consume shots and shots and shots, take a nap after the game and see if I have the willpower to go out or sit in my ass and hang out. Chat is open.
Oh my God. I forgot to read these. I just went straight to the video.
So we have Zach says Andrew, Lee says Cooper, Ryan says
Nobody's
Sam.
right yet. Nobody's right yet. You can keep going.
Trevor says Nick.
It's not Nick. It's not
Lee
Will.
says Will.
Again?
Harry
Not
says
Lee, not
Bailey.
Colin.
We have
There
a
we go.
Kevin.
Kevin.
So
Trevor.
Trevor gets advantage number 1 with the correct answer of Kevin.
This is what I get for not looking at the Instagram or paying too much attention to the Twitter.
They're on the Twitter as well,
Yeah,
I
it
think.
should be on both. Yeah.
Yeah, but not everyone in the cast is out yet. I think you're gotten as far as
That is true.
That is true, yeah.
I think Kevin's actually wasn't out, so that was just good guess.
Wow.
Sneaky.
Why was that the
So
first
sneaky.
question, Matthew?
I did a random number 1 through 21 to pick which player card number, and I think Kevin's the last player card we're gonna do. So that was just good job knowing your players. All right. So
Honestly, I like thought through everyone saying it. And I was like, oh, Kevin definitely would say that.
also,
That's
I think
hilarious.
Kevin, if we said a typical Sunday, and that sounds a lot more like a Saturday with the tailgate. So I think Kevin answered that question wrong and got it on Saturday, but.
I was for like a split second going to put Maggie, but then I then came to my senses.
He gave him these questions, so.
I was also thinking, who's legal to drink?
By this point in time, almost everyone was.
Yeah.
But officially speaking, yeah.
They are now. So. All right. Second one. Whose response was to the question, I refuse to? Their answer was lose. Oh, there we go. Lee right off the bat with Leia.
No, Harry's got it ahead of her.
Oh, he did. That's
yeah.
Okay.
That's what we like to see.
All right.
By a split second.
Fuck.
Sorry, Lee.
Damn
to
it,
get
my
it
one
for
comes
you.
up first in mine.
Well, the one we're going off the one I saw in mine.
Yeah,
Harry is first.
Yeah.
Damn
All
it.
right. Third one and last one. Whose response to the question, my mom says whose response was, I need to stop calling her to ask if a minor ailment is actually a life-threatening illness. Chat is open. It's not
We have
Tom.
a Tom. This one I actually know. I remember this one.
Not Emily P.
Bree.
Who's
And
in the
Adam.
cast again?
Mick.
Nobody has it yet.
Megan, Sarah, Akshay, Lucy. Oh, we're guessing everybody. Sam, Cooper,
Oh.
Dylan.
I can give a hint if nobody's going to get it. No.
Jackson, Aaron. We've guessed almost the entire cast at this point.
I'll give a quick hint. This person had an injury in their season.
What injury they're seeing? Who have we not said?
Well, that's a very obscure hint, Matthew.
It was mentioned.
Oh, Ryan gets it with Bailey.
Oh, Bailey. She got in a car crash.
Yes.
Oh.
There we go. All right. So Trevor has advantage. Oh, wait. I said Bailey.
Wait, Bailey.
Bailey gets an
Not doing this
advantage.
draft. That would be a little unfair. Okay. All right. So let's reveal our advantages. So Trevor, your advantage is, this might just show up in, hold on. I want to give the dramatic reveal so I can hide this.
Try to do one at a time.
Yeah, just so I can reveal the highlight. Okay. So your advantage is you get to pick the draft order.
Okay.
That's Trevor's advantage. All right. Harry, your advantage is spin the wheel advantage. So that means at any point for somebody's pick, before they make their pick, you have them spin a wheel to figure out who their pick is. So whoever people who have already been picked will be taken off the wheel. You can play it against somebody, and before they make their pick is just made by a wheel.
Okay. You guys better be on my good side because you don't want to be on the other end of that.
Jamie.
I'm just saying now.
That's Harry's advantage. And then advantage 3 for Ryan is the draft pick super idol, which just means that after somebody's made their pick, you can use the idol and they're just gonna have to make another pick. So you can use it on whoever at any time. I guess you can't really use it on yourself, but if somebody makes a pick and you're like, actually, I kind of wanted that person or their team look too stacked, you can use a super idol and they'll just have to pick again. So those are our 3 advantages. And now that we have those out of the way, Trevor, if you want, you can pick our draft order.
Okay. I'm leaning toward picking first, but those 2 advantages scare me. If I pick first, I'm gonna get screwed. Yeah. Then, screw it. I'll go first. Does anyone else have a preference of where they want to pick? Hinting at the people with advantages you guys can pick.
I would like to pick early.
I like to go third. Actually, I think that's a nice round.
Okay.
Even.
Harry,
That's
you can
good.
go third.
I'll take that.
I'd be okay with going last because with snake style, I get to pick fifth and sixth. So I'd be okay with being last.
Okay. Yeah, Ryan, you can go fifth. Leah, you go with fourth?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Trevor, I guess it means you pick last overall as well because it sort of comes back round to you. I think.
1 through 5. Yeah, I would have the last pick. Yeah.
That works. That works.
Sorry, I cut out for a sec. What were we doing there?
So it's gonna be Trevor, Zach, Harry, Lee, Ryan.
Okay. All right. If I freeze, let me know. But I just froze for a sec. Okay. All right. So we have our draft order set. So it'll be Trevor, then Zach, then Harry, then Lee, and then Ryan, and then we'll come back and do round 2. And then we have our player cards up here to kind of show you who is available. If this will load, there we go. So if you need to know who's available, we'll keep on this screen. And then once you make your pick, then we'll take their card off. So Trevor, you can make your pick when you're ready and then just give us a little bit of reasoning to why, and then we'll keep it moving. Okay.
So when I was making my draft board, it was kind of hard, especially in the middle. I wanted to pick first because I have a very clear number 1. I think this person's going to get episode titles. I think they could find advantages. I think they could make it far, especially since they could be part of a duo, a couple perhaps. Give me Jackson, please.
Jackson, okay.
Oh, Jackson
is first off the board.
Wow, this is gonna really stoke his ego when he sees this.
I know. That's why I also wanted to do it because I know Jackson's gonna be really, really happy.
He's not gonna be happy. He's just gonna be like, duh.
I was excited.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
if Jackson ends up winning, then I know I didn't pick him first. I was gonna get hit.
Yeah. Jackson.
Rises in the chat. Not even Michael Jordan was the number 1 pick.
I think what Jackson would say is that he didn't get the first pick. The first pick got Jackson.
There you go. The first pick. All right.
That's his logic.
Jackson from season 4. 6th place in season 4, a former Alliance member of mine, is off the board at 1.1. Next, pick 1.2 will be Zach.
Okay. So I have interacted with several Survivor Michigan alum via like minis and things like that. But I actually had the pleasure of going to the 2019 OSU versus Michigan game at Michigan. And I met a Survivor Michigan alum at Skeeps during it was the week before the finale for season 2 aired, and I met Lucy, and I have a photo with her, and it was the best moment of my life. So I have to pay my respects to the queen, and I'm taking Lucy first.
All right, so we have Lucy.
We knew that would happen.
Yeah. It's actually law in the Lucy stand-in code of conduct that if you are a part of this, you have to pick Lucy first.
Lucy, the third place in season 2, who cast the deciding vote in the final tribal council. She's back for All Stars, and she is off the board at the 2nd overall pick, joining Zach's team. Also, if you guys want to give yourself team names later, then do that. But right now, we'll just call it Zach's team. So go with that. All right. You are up round 1, pick 3. Harry is on the clock.
Right. I like this pick. Right. I mean, I've got a couple of things to say first because I do feel like Jackson, I like that pick. That's like guaranteed points on the board. Like he'll win a few challenges. You know, he might go deep. I think he's the sort of player that will stick around during pre-merge and might make a run. I don't see him winning though. But I think Trevor's made a good pick there. Lucy, I mean, like I understand the fandom. I've been on the Discord, like I'm quite active there. The Lucy hype train, like it's in full speed there, but I think that's a massive reach. I just don't see her going I don't see her going far, and I don't see her improving on her last game. But for my third pick, I'm gonna go with probably guaranteed points on the board. And from worst to first, I'm going to go for Sarah. I know people are going to probably lose their minds at that, but I just think she's like an unknown quantity. I know on like the reunion video, she said she's not even watched her season. And I think like actually she probably has enough like social reads and social skills that she can get through. And when you see players like Mallory who like do really well without knowing anything about the game, I think actually like she could really make a run here. And it's an advantage, especially when you're in a season full of sort of like overly like savvy players who are all trying to outplay each other. If you just keep it simple, I think she'll definitely do better than last time. I mean, I hope. Oh my god, I really hope. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, Sarah's my pick.
You'll probably get that placement point for surpassing original placement unless unless she gets that food again.
That suits me. That's good with me.
Okay, so thanks for picking Lucy early because I was struggling to pick her because by law I have to pick her, but I was thinking, oh, is she going to go really hard too early? So it's between her and my second pick, and so I'm definitely going to go with the second pick is someone who's very good at going under the radar, but being a known threat, but also for some reason not being a target, and that's going to be Sam.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Oh, Harry doesn't like.
Interesting. You want to comment on why you don't like that?
I wanted Sam for my next pick. He was number 2 on my board.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying you thought it was a bad pick.
Yeah.
I mean, like it could crash out. I think he's probably got quite a high threat level. I feel like and obviously I think isn't season 2 like airing whilst All Stars is playing.
That's true.
And he's like, I think like if people see that he's quite snarky, maybe he's obviously quite cunning. I think if they see that whilst it's playing out, that could backfire against him. So to be fair, I mean, maybe it's for the best that you have him, Lee. But yeah, I rate him very highly.
All right, so Ryan, you get the last pick in the first round. You can make your last first round pick, and then we'll save a couple minutes, and then we'll do your first second round pick. But who is your pick?
We're going to have 2 ceruleans in the first round because I'm picking Kevin.
Okay. Yes.
I think like in season 4 during that challenge where they're balancing the cups, like we saw a little bit of a potential growth arc with Kevin, admitting that he was like a jerk in his first season. He's very, very confident. He's not afraid to make big moves. I think if he like uses that confidence to make good moves instead of bad ones, he'll be a very difficult person to take out. And I also think because he was Megan's like assistant, or what's the word in season 4? Like
he was her producer.
He was Megan's producer in season 4. I think he's going to be part of that Jackson Megan triangle that I think will be the key part of the season. So I think we're going to see a lot of Kevin, I think. Oh, and also in the trailers for All Stars, like Kevin was presented in a way that didn't seem indicative of one of the show's biggest villains. I think the way Kevin was put in the trailers was more of a heroic redemption arc instead of a villain. So we'll see.
Yeah.
That's a quick question.
All right, looks like some reading into the editing kind of influencing Ryan's pick. So
Lee has a question.
Okay, this is probably going to sound stupid, but are Jackson and Megan actually dating?
On the show, yes.
Like, is it for real dating, or is it just like on the show dating?
No, they were for real dating. They started dating around the end of season 4 and were dating up until All Stars, but told everyone that they broke up so that people wouldn't know they were dating. So going into the season, ostensibly, no one knows that they are dating.
But are they still together?
That's wait to the reunion show.
I find it hard to believe that those two are dating. They're complete opposites, but that's a discussion for a different story.
Megan Jackson's story the day before All Stars, or like the weekend before All Stars, we were like a couple people from season 4 were back in town, and Dale was back in town, and me, him, and Jackson met up, and Jackson was like, it was like All Stars was starting in a couple days, and he was like, oh, so have you hid the idols yet? And I think I had, and I was like, no, I'm gonna hide them like the day before or something like that, on Sunday or something like that. So Sunday morning, him and Megan stake out outside my house on Sunday morning, the day All Star starts. Luckily, I'd already hidden them, but they followed me in my car when I left in the morning. I was going to work, but they followed me to work, and then waited for a little while. And then once they realized that I wasn't coming out of work for a little while, they realized that I was not going to hide the idols, but they tried to see if they could find where the idols were hidden before the game started. So there's a lot of dedication, I guess, if that's what you want to call it.
That's a good bit of pre-gaming.
Yeah, they didn't tell me that until after this game. I did not notice that they were outside the house waiting for me. All right, let's move on to round 2 then. So Ryan, you are up again.
Okay. As I mentioned before, I think Jackson Megan is going to be a key part of the story, and Eric's Dabu Doodle of the All-Star season. Jackson and Megan are front and center in the fountain. Jackson's holding like an idol-shaped necklace. So for my next pick, I'm going to take Megan.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So people now reading into the Eric poster as well to try and see if they can glean any secrets from it.
Clues everywhere.
It's kind of Rosetta Stone of the season. There's so many hints in there and stuff. Like, I think there might not be 2 tribes. I don't know. Based on that deal, I think there might be 3. But there's so much stuff in there.
Yeah, I think Megan going at this point is pretty good because I feel she has a lot to improve on, and she showed potential in like her first season, and like her audition video is pretty good. Like she sort of is like showing herself as quite angelic, but I think what made me hold back on her and like putting her higher is that she sort of was quite ambivalent about how the whole thing is going to go with Jackson, but maybe she knows more. She obviously knows more than like she's going to let on, even to like the producers. So, you know, I think that's a good pick.
Yeah, Megan was definitely a contender
And,
as well.
She was my
as we've
one,
seen,
too.
like,
Got me.
Oh, that's tough, Zach. That's tough.
I'm like Megan's biggest fan. So even though she's not on my team, I really think Megan is a strong contender to win All Stars. Like,
yeah,
I
Zach,
think
she kind of screwed over Camilla though. So, you know.
Yeah, but she's learned from her mistakes. And I think being paired with Jackson, I think he's always going to be a bigger threat to her. And if he gets out, then hopefully I think she's got the social grace to kind of figure out how to get herself back on track. So I have high hopes for her. And if she doesn't do well, I'm still going to be her #1 fan.
And
She's got to beat Shield.
We've definitely seen before in many college survivors of outside the game relationships, especially when they're secret, can be really deadly. See like season 1 Michigan or season 2 CNU, anything like that.
Yeah.
I think another difference is that Megan's like she's waiting to blindside Jackson at some point.
I would love that. I would love to see that. That would be so good.
That would be so great. Yeah.
The long con.
Right.
And she's compared herself to Amber, and Amber won the first Survivor All Stars.
Oh.
I don't know.
Reading all the signs, reading all the tea leaves here.
Yeah.
All right, so we're 6 picks in. So we've got 2 people from season 4, 3 people from season 2, 1 person from season 1. None of our 7 season 3 people have been picked yet.
Wow.
I wonder why.
Also, no advantage has been used at this point either.
2 advantages are still on the board. So, as a reminder. All right, Lee, you are up next.
Okay, I'm juggling between 2 people. I'm not gonna say who just in case people are like, I secretly want that person, so I'm gonna take them. But
Okay.
I'll say this: neither of them made jury, and I'm really juggling over one I think can do well and go far and is entertaining. The other I think could potentially be a threat, but would also be entertaining.
Careful what you say. Careful what you say. That's all I'm saying.
Here, I'm gonna play the gay card and go with Adam.
Okay, fair.
All right, so Adam off the board. I think we have 3 of our 4 season 4 people off the board. Shout out season 4 in the first 7 picks.
I'm honestly quite surprised about that. I thought that there'd be a few season 4s towards the back, but I guess like they all have potential.
Who's going to take Tom, and then we'll have the season 4s just off the board.
I think the reason why season 3 is not being told, because I think we can all make a drinking game with how many calls or texts there's been where it's like season 3 is a drama season and the events of that season still hold to this day.
Yeah, I feel like
there's
foreshadowing there, isn't there?
I will say my other person I was thinking was a season 3 person.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And they're probably going to get picked, but I wanted to go with Adam because redemption story, have to go with the gay because law. And
Yeah.
I feel like Adam's going to be fun this season. I did not like him his first. When I say I did not like him, it was like he was one of the many people of season 4 that I did not like through at first, and then eventually started to like. Look at the comment section; you'll all know why.
I think with Adam Luck, there's a good player there, and like you can tell he cares a lot. But I don't know if like for me, what stopped me from putting Adam higher is like I think season 5 has come maybe like a bit too soon. Like I don't know if like 2 months between season 4 and season 5 or however long it is, I can't remember. I don't know if that's enough time for him to like grow and like actually like take some time back to reflect. So
But
like
he did get
there's
voted
that.
off really early.
That's true, actually, yeah. And maybe like that's been like he will make sure he doesn't get voted out really early and like make some silly like alliance with Cat, like whatever
Also,
happened with that.
Also, I'm getting episode titles with him. I know for a fact.
Yes, yeah, you
Yeah.
are. You're right on that actually. That's guaranteed points. You're playing the smart
I
game.
was thinking the same, Harry, about like only having 2 like months off, but like his audition video, he really did seem like a different person. He had like new nails. He said he's working out. I don't know. Like, I think we're going to see a new confident Adam in this season.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
So rooting for you, Adam. Please don't suck.
Let's go, Adam.
Yeah.
All right. So it looks like we are on to round 2, pick 3. So Harry, you are up next.
Okay.
Board, but put the player cards back up as well.
Right. So I know we were talking about how we've not had any season 3 people picked yet. So I'm thinking, how about I break the trend here? I'm going to go for a player who is pre-merge, who I think played quite hard, who I think will leave no stone, or should I say rock unturned. I'm talking about Crouch, of course, Andrew.
I
So
mean,
yeah.
he is the only pre-merger in this out of the season 3 people that's coming back.
Jesse, actually, I think.
Yeah,
She
or
made
Jesse
merge.
made the merge, but not the jury.
But like, I think Crouch is interesting, and I feel like you should probably like consider him apart from season 3 drama. I guess that started it, but like he was never really. I don't know if he was ever really a part of like the whole like nastiness.
That's because he got voted off before he could.
Exactly,
Locked out.
and like he might. I don't think we might be looking into like the toxicity of it all and like the sort of like the drama and all the Ben bombs and whatever. Because Adam's separate from that, I think he might even be able to like maybe even unite season 3 players or something. I'm probably like wishful thinking because that's like herding cats. But like you can tell he really wants to play. And like I think we haven't seen much of him yet, so he may have like a lot higher of a ceiling than we saw like last time around. So I'm hopeful. If anything, we'll see some crazy gameplay from him, I think.
Yeah, Crouch. I keep wanting to say Crotch whenever I read his name.
Crotch.
He's definitely like we saw in that Rock episode, the strategy he can. My one worry is he's terrible at explaining things.
Yeah, I mean that might be a problem.
So trying to explain strategy or explain a game to a jury when that's what gives you the win, it's kind of holding me back.
Yeah, I was hoping to snipe Andrew with the latter half of round 2. So that was good.
Sorry about that, mate.
That was a good
Sorry.
kill.
Yeah,
Had to do it.
you got the wrong advantage for that.
Yeah.
Andrew is off the board. Still have our 2 advantages at play as we are nearing the end of round 2. Zach, you are up next.
Okay, well, season 3 is not getting the love I think it deserves. I know Andrew. Andrew, I think is a good pick, but I'm going to pick someone from season 3 who I think really showed some good thoughts about the game, but maybe didn't have the power or the way to execute it. I think Jesse is going to be a really underrated pick. I think Jesse, she's entertaining. I think she could get a couple episode titles. We know that she can be savage, and I think that we saw also like Will and her had a very interesting dynamic. So I think him being back will be very interesting to see how they interact. But in terms of the game, I think Jesse, in her confessionals, she was saying everyone thought that she was like nothing, like she was like dumb, didn't know how to play the game. but she had a very good read on like everyone in her tribe, and I feel like a generally good read on the game. So I think with a little bit more time to kind of learn about the game, I don't know if she did production for season 4, if she like stayed involved at all, but I'm sure she's learned a lot from her time on season 3. And I think with a little bit more time and a little more time to hone in her skills, I think she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I think that she can do really well, maybe even win. So let's go, Jesse.
Jesse's who I was arguing over between picking her and Adam.
I like that.
I think it's
Yeah.
interesting that we're almost through 2 rounds, and the only person from season 1 that's been picked is the very first boot.
Well, we saw how the season 1 returnee did last time, so I think we're just a little
You didn't make it all the way to
Wow.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
That
Shots
was
fired.
My win equity was not.
He finished in
but
third though.
In terms of points, in terms of draft points, I did okay. Win equity.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
We're also, we still have a couple of finalists on the board, a winner on the board. So yeah, maybe some late round steals. Who knows?
I will say this about Jessie. She was the one person I was surprised that came back. Because I really thought she had no interest in coming back.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
she was announced, I was like, wait, she's actually coming back? 1, surprise. 2, can't wait. 3, how the hell is this going to turn out?
I feel like as we were saying, like as Zach was saying, like she is like confessional gold though. So like I feel like whatever she puts in, she's always gonna have something like sassy to say, something like a good clap back. And like she had some incredible reads as well. And I think you're always looking for people who can sort of like read players, especially in like a college situation. I just think there's something missing from her game last time, and maybe she could bring it this time.
Right. So we are back to Trevor to pick Jackson at 1-1 and is now making the last pick in the second round. Trevor, the floor is yours.
So I was gonna go with some safe picks. Like I have one that I was going to take along with Crouch. But now that Crouch was taken, I am now going to go. And my team name is now very clear to me. I'm going to be Team Good TV. Because we all love good TV. We're talking. We haven't. I feel like when we said season 3 hasn't been taken a lot, we're not gonna go with the big 2 of. We're talking about the season 3 drama. I think there's 2 big sides of the season 3 drama. Why not take them both? So give me. I will. Someone's got to win this war. Someone has to win this war. So give me Emily P. and give me Aaron.
Wow.
Let's
Wait,
go.
not Will? Not Will?
Not
Really?
Will.
No. He still wants a chance to win the draft.
I think individually. So like Emily P. I feel like because of all the stuff going on. I think she could be in some trouble. I think I think if you were to put all 21 of these people onto a Survivor Island and no one knows each other, I think MLP has a really good shot of just like winning a pure season. I think she has a really good skill set. Like we're doing like these like player cards. Like if I'm playing like a sports game, like I think her overall is really high. And I think Erin. I mean obviously she got a rough rap in her first season. I think she has shown like the ability to show effort a lot more than some other people. And like as someone who's like seen like these kind of games like in person, like there is a complete correlation with effort and how far you go. So like the more effort you put in, the farther you're gonna go. In a lot of cases, there are obviously some outliers there, but that's where my head's at. So Team Good TV with Jackson, Aaron, and Emily.
I can't disagree with that. That is a pretty good TV team. So, all right. So we are still in round 3. We still have 2 advantages: our spin the wheel and our super idol, which again has to be played before the picks, and then the wheel can be played after a pick is made.
That's the opposite.
Or is it yes, you're right. The wheel has to be done before the pick is made. The idol can take a pick that's already been made. So Zach, you are up next in round 3.
Okay. I think I'm going to make a more risky pick this time. I think this person probably isn't going to win. I think they're going to be seen as way too big of a threat. But I think that they have probably the most connections out of anyone in the cast, and I think that will suit them well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick Cooper
You broke the
because,
Cooper pact.
Okay.
sorry guys, I just feel like as someone who like participated in a like college survivor organization, the host coming back to play, it definitely like puts a target on their back, but also he's had a couple seasons off, so people probably are less likely to remember how he played. I think since he knows people from every season, when people are looking for early people to target, it's going to be like someone who may not have a lot of connections is going to go, oh, well, at least I know Cooper. Like, at least I can work with Cooper. Whereas there's probably people in the game who are like very free floatery, who are going to be easy, maybe early votes. So I think he has all the connections to do well. It's mostly just, he's got to get past the first round or two where people may eliminate him just for the meme of being like, oh yeah, we have to eliminate Cooper first.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
Yeah. So I think if he can make it past the first couple eliminations where people maybe are going to try and clown on him, I think he can make it really deep. I don't think he can make it to the end because, like I said, I think he has a lot of great connections, but he's going to become too big of a threat with all those connections at the end. So we'll see how he does, but I think that's more of a risky pick. But I think it'll work out. I think it's going to work out.
Cooper 2.0 just feels like a merge boot to me.
I could definitely see that.
All right, we let him get far enough. All right, shut it down. Shut it down. We're not bringing him farther than this. Just get him on the jury. He's fine.
He's going to be like a sort of power player's like big scalp, I feel. Someone's going to take them out and be like, that's a statement that they're going to make. He's not going to be like the one running the game, but he's going to be the one that's taken out so that someone can run the game.
To quote an amazing college survivor player, Hannah Dolan, I root for all the girls, the gays, and Cooper James. I've seen Cooper play 2 different orgs, and he made Final 3 both times. This man has the ability to be a huge target and not get voted off or barely receive any votes. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah. I mean,
Cooper. Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
I think that Cooper wants it the most. Like I saw his audition tape. I think if he doesn't win All Stars, he's literally gonna die. Like it's in his blood, sweat, and tears. Like he's the face of the franchise. He needs this.
Yeah, but the thing with the audition tape I was about to say was that I feel like he's maybe a little bit delusional about his game. Like he was not running the game. No offense, he was not running the game. He was up there. He was like a runner and rider, but he was like the 2 Alexes were running it, and like I don't know what season he was watching when he was saying that. If it wasn't for like him being the host of the past 3 seasons, I'd have him like bottom 5. But like he's like, it's a good pick. I think it's a good pick.
God.
Yes, do we love the savaging of Cooper? This is what we want to see more.
I'm sure you're a great person, but yeah.
Here, whichever one of you has the idol, use it so we can keep the Cooper pact. Everyone wondering, we made a pact before.
Yeah, I'll just take Cooper instead.
Forgot.
We agreed not to pick Cooper for the memes. Who was the idol again?
Forgot. Ryan.
Ryan does.
Oh, I do.
Oh.
I do have the idol. I actually was going to take Cooper. I don't know. But I'm going to say it for now because I don't want to get the roulette wheel played on me. So I'm just going to try to be fair, mutually assertive.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think, could they be played on the same
person?
I guess.
No, you'd have to play. I guess if the roulette wheel gets played on you, you could play the idol on yourself to not have to do it, I guess.
Wow.
Or if it like let's say like Harry used it on Zach and it landed on Cooper, could Ryan use the idol to like save Cooper and
yes.
to spin the wheel again?
Yes.
Chaos.
Yeah, all right, leave Cooper out of this.
We'll be here forever.
Don't mess with my team.
All right, so we
let's just be like an actual
so
CBS season where no advantages get used.
Yeah.
We're 12 picks in. Let's take a look at who's still left. We got Bailey from season 2. We've got Nick, finalist. We've got a winner still on the board in Dylan. We've got Cooper's secret friend who got 4th place in Leia. We've got Akshay, another season 1. We've got Bree, and we've got Will Bence, Emily B, and we have Tom. The last remaining season 4 person, we've got 3 still on the board from, a couple still on the board from season 3, 2 from season 1, a couple from season 2. So we are back to Harry.
Okay, right. So I'm just gonna have a look at the board. There are a couple of people I'm thinking about. I'm between two season 2 people actually. I think there might actually be how many season 2 people are there left?
We have three.
Three.
Bree, Bailey, Nick, and Bree.
Still on the board.
So I think for this pick, I'm gonna go for Bree. I'm actually surprised that she's like not been picked for this long because I think she has so much of the upside that a lot of the other players we talked about have, but a lot lower the threat level that we've also been talking about with like Cooper and with Sam. I think that she's a super fan, obviously, but she doesn't come across as I don't know actually, but to me she didn't come across as one. I don't know.
She's a fan of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is a really big fan.
She loves
Yeah.
Aussie as well. I know she really loves Aussie, doesn't she?
Which is kind of the step down to why you pick her, because terrible taste in Survivor players.
I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide. But another important thing is just like Cooper and just like all that. I think she was also like involved in production in season 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And so she'll have the same connections. And she obviously has a connection with Nate from like season 4, although that's not going to come to fruition here. But I think she's probably quite good socially. And we're probably discounting that from her. And she was very unlucky to be on like a cast of so many just like game savvy, like game botty people, like sort of like Jack and Sarah X and Sam, where there's just like the focus on the game is so strong that she was always just a little bit behind. And so she was outmaneuvered a little bit. So I think I could see her going really, really deep. I don't know if she's going to win, but I think she has the sort of potential to really pull people together in a way that you often see winners do. So yeah, that's my pick. Oh, and before I'm going to use a wheel on Lee, I've just decided that's going to happen. Well, yeah, I had to get that in before he chose his next pick, but I was like, I either do it now or I do it like towards the end where it's just like a sort of bottom of the barrel thing. But rather now than later.
All right. Lee, any
Thank
thoughts
you.
before we get to the wheel? Anybody that you're hoping it is out of the players? I guess
Shocker, the British is targeting the Irish. What else is new?
I knew I would hear this. I knew I would hear this.
Well, I'm going to say who I would have picked out of everyone that's left. I probably would have gone for Emily B, because at this point I'm just like very I think I just would have gone for her because she impressed me with her audition video.
Let's spin this wheel. And
There is too many people on that list I do not want.
I'm nervous for you. This is scary.
This is
Okay,
hilarious.
I'm not looking.
we've got.
Oh, can we swear?
Can we swear? I mean, Ian's editing this, so.
Yeah.
Swearing is fine.
Awesome.
Swearing is fine.
Fucking Christ, of course I get probably one of the worst people to come back.
So how do you feel about that? For the record, both me and Matthew thought Tom would be the last pick in the draft.
I was not.
Me too, yeah.
Well, considering I don't have that many picks left, I'm going to just say the 5 people I did not want. Tom was one of them, because he's going to do way too much, way too fast. He's not a good player. I should not say that. I already said I didn't want Dylan. I did not want Leia. I did not want Will. And there's one more. Who did I also not want? Oh, I didn't want Nick.
Okay.
So pretty much
Was there anyone who was considering taking Tom or like has a pitch for him,
Does anyone want to use the idol to take him?
To be honest with you, it's between, I think for me, the bottom 2 are between Will and Tom. I was like, if it's either 2 of them, I might take Tom just because he'll get that point of like, he will probably, maybe, actually, I don't even know, but I don't think Will's going better than 5th place, whereas Tom might go better. Probably
Tom,
not, but might.
Like I said before, I think Tom is one of those people that's going to put in a lot of effort. But
Yeah.
I could see history repeating itself of too much effort being the problem.
Yeah.
You need to put in enough effort to where you're talking to people, but not enough where people notice that you're making an effort.
Yeah, he plays an 100-day game in like 7 days or 14.
So I mean, could he turn around? Absolutely, but I think there are a lot of other prospects on the board that I agree. I think people would have taken higher than Tom.
Still, the whole
Yeah.
like lemon juice thing was just genius, to be honest. Like, he's thinking ahead of the game.
Yeah, I did not want Tom. He has what I call superfan syndrome, where it's because he thinks he's a fan of the game means he's good at the game. It never works out, and these college survivors are perfect proof of it. Like, fan of the games do not do well, mostly. Long story short, not happy. And my entire line is a sausage fest so far. There's gonna be people that's like, why is his team all guys when he has said live that he hates men?
You can blame the wheel then. We'll blame the wheel. So, all right, Ryan, you are here to close out round 3 and start off round 4. I will bring the board back up.
Okay, I'm going to take 2 players that are kind of undersung. They were both eliminated via either being swap screwed or twist screwed. And in the trailers, I kind of see them working together. They were in 2 different times in the trailer, they were seen together. So give me Emily B and give me Bailey.
All right, Emily B and Bailey. I'll go.
I can kind of see them as being a yin and yang. They're both like kind of opposites in terms of emotion. They could kind of maybe balance each other, and I think they'd be a good team.
All right, so Ryan's team is complete with Kevin, Megan, Emily B, and Bailey. So he's got Kevin and Bailey, the season 2 duo, and then he's got Megan from season 4, Emily B from season 3. So
Any thoughts on Kevin? You ended up with Kevin first and Bailey last, also sort of a duo in their original season. Do you think that could lead into anything, help you out maybe?
I hope so. That's such a great duo, and like I hope they reconcile their differences, and maybe they could be final 2 or something. And I see a lot. And actually, like the winners of Maryland All Stars, Chris Thomas and or the final 2 of Maryland All Stars, Chris Thomas and Ashley Roach. I find them very similar to Kevin and Bailey. I could kind of see that maybe happening again. I don't know.
If you had to pick a winner from your team, who would you pick as who was going to win?
It's gotta be Kevin, my number 1 pick.
There we go. Oh.
Megan's right there. I don't know.
Yeah, Megan is like was a top 5 on my big board, so I think it was a really good snag at pick 6 overall.
Yeah,
Right.
Emily B is interesting though, because I think she's actually done probably quite a bit since her season. To me, it seems like she's been engaged with it and she knows what she needs to change. From what I can see anyway. Bailey as well, like she's also involved with production, I think, so she could also have those connections on her side. So they're both good picks, and especially like their value picks, like at the end of a draft. You know, that's what you got to look for.
I'm interested to see Emily B play. Matthew hosted an org that I played in with Emily B, and we never got to interact with each other. But anytime anyone came into the jury, they'd be like, oh my God, Emily B is not doing anything. She's the worst. And I'm like, she seemed cool. Like, I'm excited to see what she gets to do. She said in her video today, like, she wants to prove she's not a sheep. So I'm excited to see like what she does to kind of get rid of that stigma, because heard about it twice now. So
Yeah,
I'm ready to see her break it up.
Emily, she definitely got screwed by a twist in that tribe split, both go to tribals.
The demerge.
Yeah, the demerge twist. And she's someone that we never got to saw a lot of. She was always like roped in with Savu. Like, if you think of Savu, you think of everyone, and then kind of Emily is like, she's like the one that people did not complain about. That we saw.
Yeah, that's pretty true. All right, so Lee, you are up next. Your last pick, Tom, was chosen by a wheel. This pick you have full control over unless the idol is used. You'll still be able to make your own pick in the end.
Please don't use the idol. I don't want both twists on me.
I promise I won't.
Oh, come on. It would be funny.
No,
the meme.
It would be kind of funny, honestly.
You still get to make your pick, though. All right, we have 6 people still on the board. We've got Will, Akshay, Leia, Dylan, and Nick.
Okay, I'm picking this person not because I think they're going to win, not because I think they're going to do well, not because I'm rooting for them, and not because I'm purely picking it because I just thought of a team name. Could I just ask for you to do one thing? Could you move Tom down to the bottom one just for the meme?
Just for the meme?
Yeah, like move Tom to the last slot.
That's
Okay, into this pick.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then put Leia there. And my
that's
Oh,
brilliant.
and
That's
I
brilliant.
know
Oh,
Team
that's awesome.
Salt.
Music to my ears.
Not in the right one, but I'll fix it later. So this is Team Salt. And Trevor, you said your team name was
Team Good TV.
Good TV. Okay.
I feel like we still have to like have it be officially that Tom was picked before Leia, though.
Yeah, we'll change. I mean, it'll still.
It's just like that for
Yeah,
visual effect.
so-
You can switch it back now.
Well,
Okay.
with the initials now.
Yeah.
Now we know why it's Team Salt. Yeah,
Yes,
Team
yes,
Salt, Team Good TV.
yes. Anybody else thoughts on Leia going the last round? Think that's appropriate? Maybe a steal? Maybe any thoughts on that?
I think that's about right, to be honest. I had her third lowest. So
Yeah.
behind,
I
like
think-
the only two I had lower were Will and Tom. So I don't think from what I can gather, again, was like from like the reunion and like the audition thing, like it sounds like she sounded a bit entitled about everything.
Yeah.
And the whole attitude of like I either win or I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
she
not really
has-
given much.
Yeah, her and Nick have not learned anything from their season. They fully believe that they would have won, and the only reason they lost is because it's other people's fault. While Nick, he actually made it to the end and probably did not win. Leia believes she would have made it. She would have won it. She got to the end, and well, we kind of know now she most likely wouldn't have. It would have been close, but she probably wouldn't have. But the fact that she doesn't know that and she believes she's going to win the season, and she's kind of that good when really she did not do much her season. She was just in a lucky majority. And like I said, I'm only picking her for the meme, just for the team name to make sense.
I consider doing pretty well here. I don't know, like I think her and Cooper going in together could be a target, but it could be helpful for them. I think there is concerns of effort potentially, that she had to be asked to make a video and stuff like that. But I mean, it could all just be like for jokes and stuff. Once it's game time, it's game time. So I actually kind of like Leia as a good fourth round pick.
I will say something positive. I'm probably getting challenge points with Leia.
Yeah, that's true.
These are challenges. It's individual immunity, so they would have to make the merge. But yeah, like yes, just to clarify, just in case.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
If
we
she gets there.
so we have 3 picks left. Harry, this will be your last pick to complete your team. That currently has Sarah Gallagher, Crouch, and Bree.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Because I know.
Dylan.
I mean,
Leo's team.
look, I took who was my top person in the draft. I took some underrated, some good value picks, and I screwed over an Irishman. So to be honest with you, I could just call it a day here. It's pretty good. I'm happy with all that. I'm aware that yeah, someone's probably going to use the idol on me, but I'm going to go for the pick I want, and if it happens, so be it. I think I'm going to go for Akshay here. I think there's potential, and if anything, he maybe was a bit overshadowed by a lot of the hard strategic players on his season. He's also involved in production. I keep saying that they're involved in production, but it does come to something, especially with like a group where like a really tight knit club. I think that those bonds could really amount to something here. So even though I don't know if he's got like a concrete strategy, I think someone might want to just bring him along just because he's well connected towards the end of the game. Although I don't think he'll have much win equity when it comes to the business, really. So yeah, that's why I've chosen Akshay.
All right.
Any other thoughts on Akshay?
Not so fast, Terry. Not so fast, Terry. I'm going to play my super idol and cancel your selection.
We've got a super idol being played. For this
I was gonna make a joke that I find it funny that I still call him Ashke because that's how Levana thought his name was pronounced.
Akshay.
Season 1. That's the only thing I have on Akshay for until he gets really picked.
Harry just fucked up his pick, and now you got to make another one. So
I was probably going to pick Akshay instead of Leia, but I saw the meme, so I just went with Leia.
you know what? That actually played right into my hands because I was going to pick Dylan anyway, but I didn't want anyone to get it. So yeah, change it to Dylan, please. That's what I want. Arkshay was like,
Why?
Damn.
well,
Yeah.
you gotta play around
Arkshay
these
was,
advantages, you know. You gotta play around it here.
So are you saying that you intentionally picked someone you didn't want?
Yeah, because
Wow.
this is the thing. So I have my team name. I'm gonna go from worst to first because my first pick is
Oh,
the first boot,
Oh,
and then Dylan's a winner.
Wow.
So I was like, right. And also, if you look at it, like Andrew's a pre-merge, Bree I think was in the merge.
yeah,
Yeah,
So
she was the
Dylan's a
second
winner.
boot.
that's
So
great.
So I was thinking, right, how do I get Dylan? But I
Good.
don't want the idol to be played on it. So I was like, right, if I put another play in first, then I can get Dylan if it comes back to it. But I didn't want to pick Will or Nick because I thought maybe they'd just let me have that pick. So I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, Dylan, I think I'm surprised that he's actually gone this late. Just because I feel
Really?
like his sort of because I feel like his sort of game is the sort of game that wins an all-star game because it's just being friendly, just being nice, not being very strategically active or aware, and he might get a couple of challenge wins along the way. So even though I don't think he's winning, I actually think he might go quite far.
I have to agree because I know it's a very long shot that he's going to win twice. Like I'm fine with that. But I feel like he's got a good social game. Like I feel like it's the same thing with Cooper. If he can make it past the first round or two where people are going to look at him as an obvious, like, oh, if we need an easy vote, it's easy to vote out the only winner in the cast. Like if he can make it past that vote, I think he can make it deep because he's very social. And I think he showed in the end game, he's not stupid. Like I think in the pre-merge, his strategy was like very much like non-existent, at least from what I can remember. But when he was in the merge, it wasn't like he was playing poorly. Like he was making smart decisions and with his secret alliance and everything like that. So I was going to pick him next because I think compared to the players that are left, he definitely has more longevity.
Chance to last longer.
Yeah, I think he definitely has more longevity.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
He plays a good floating game, and that'll probably happen. Like I said, I just think he's just going to be going home early because the second his tribe loses and everybody's panicking, they're going to be like, nobody wants to make a big move right away. Well, unless these people are crazy, which could happen. The easiest target is always vote the winner off first. Out of the one college survivor I've seen that had a winner in it, well, technically I have two, the winner went home first because it was an easy first boot.
Yeah, and as like on the original like Survivor All-Star season, you see them it's like a death sentence really. It's like a black mark around you. So
unless your name is Sandra, then you cannot win twice.
One last note on Dylan is despite the fact that he is a winner, I think people might not see him as much of a threat as some of our like rounds 1 and 2 picks in the game. So I think he could be able to slide by that way. So
yeah, he plays up his sort of like more jockish image and sort of like just a bit more aloof, and he could do the same thing and that would help him out. Although he won't win, no one will want him to win, no one will let him win. He might get there.
It really depends on who's on his tribe. Like which season 3 people are on his tribe.
I don't know if any season 3 people will let him go that far. I feel like they'll be the people who are most aware of what he did. I feel like it's people from maybe other seasons that might let him slide.
Yeah, because they'll probably use the quote meat shield strategy. It's like, who's a bigger target than somebody that's already won? Is it the worst winner? Yes, but still.
I'm
not letting that go.
If you guys were on a tribe with, let's say, Dylan and somebody with a big target on their back like Cooper, who are you guys voting out?
Dylan.
Cooper. Come on. It's got to be.
Dylan.
We have 2 Dylan, 2 Cooper?
Yeah, you got to vote on Cooper there.
So three people voting on Cooper, 2 voting. All right.
I'd rather lose to a former winner than the host.
As a whole point of this draft just been to shit on Cooper.
Yes.
I mean, voting him out there is almost a compliment over Dylan, but yeah, I get that. All right.
Yeah.
So who's left? Who's undrafted so far?
So Akshay, I need to add his card back, but Akshay, Will, and
Nick.
Zach, any of those 3 are open.
Yeah. So I don't have many opinions on the person I'm about to pick. Like I really don't know much about their game, but the 2 people I'm not going to pick, I just have bad vibes from, very, very bad vibes. So I'm going to talk about them first. Will was like my bottom one pick because I just don't see any universe where he is not immediately targeted. Like he left season 3 with not any of his allies like liking or trusting him. That has to have gotten around the organization. He's so much older than everybody else. Like I feel like he's gonna struggle to make connections.
Not much older.
Isn't he like several years older?
He was about
that, and
2 or 3 years older than everybody else.
I guess they just don't have a concept of time. It feels like he's much older. I just feel like he's gonna really struggle after his actions in season 3. So he was my bottom. Like I was not gonna pick him. And then the thing with Nick is, I think we already kind of touched on it with Leia. Like the idea that they have a bad perception of their past games. And I feel like if you have a bad perception of your game in the past, how are you going to course correct to do better this time? I think also since he tied Mallory for a win, that's basically going to put him on the same level as Dylan, where it's like, this person is really good. So I think his chances are going to be low already. And then on top of that, not having great awareness of his own shortcomings is just a recipe for disaster. Even though I really liked him in season 2, I think he was like very interesting. I just don't see him doing very well in this past. So I'm going to pick Akshay. Like I said, I really don't have many opinions about him. So hopefully he can be a good addition to the team.
Zach, do you have a team name?
Give me a minute to think. I was thinking most likely to survive on an island, but I think I'm gonna pencil that in, and if I come up with something else, I'll let you know.
Put that in there for now. Okay.
I got a team name too.
The thing with Akshay is, I kind of want to say he's also not in like a way like Leia and Nick. He's kind of not aware a lot of the time of like things that are happening. If that can make sense. Like, I feel like if it doesn't make sense in his head, it's like, of course this person wouldn't betray me because they're loyal to me. Like it doesn't seem like he can have the idea of somebody not going with his plan.
In season 1, I think there were a few times like Cooper had to like loop him into the plan or whatever it was. So Akshay was always like a step behind Cooper, who was in turn like sometimes a step behind a lot of the Maison people as well. So I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if he's like, maybe all these like seasons of him being on production have helped him sort of get up to speed with it. But again, we won't know until we see the season.
Also, it's funny you have both Cooper and Akshay.
That is true. Cooper and
Akshay was
got former allies turn somewhat not allies at the end of season 1. But
Ryan, were you trying to say something?
Like Akshay was like a freshman in his very first semester in his first season. He was playing against some really, really good players like the Alexes and Liz. And I don't know, just going straight into the fire like that, I think that really prepared him for All-Stars. I think Akshay would be a really good late pick.
Yeah.
Also, Ryan, your team name is open as well. So if you want to put a little thought into that.
I do have a team name. It's the Social Winners of Survivor.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, yes.
Classic.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you have Kevin and Bailey, and you're calling yourself Social Winners?
We've knocked these names out of the park, I think.
Yeah, these names are all really good. Really good.
All right, so we are on to the very last pick. It is either going to be Will or Nick, 2 people who did pretty well in their seasons, a 5th place and a 2nd.
Both are kind of good TV as well.
They are good TV.
Yeah, both good.
Yeah.
So Trevor, the floor is yours.
Yeah, it would be really funny if I picked Will just to go all in on the season 3 stuff. I'm actually quite surprised that I'm gonna be on Team Nick here. That I almost took. My plan was to go Crouch Nick in rounds 2 and 3 as my picks. The fact that I'm gonna get him as my last pick makes me very happy. Yeah, I mean, I will say throughout the season, I was definitely on Team Sarah Z the whole time.
Correct. Oh yeah, Zigger's our last name.
It's like pronounced Z, yeah. But when she went home, I was like, oh, okay. So I think in my head, like I felt like Nick was gonna win because I felt like he had played like the best like strategic game. Obviously the jury felt differently and everything, and then the whole Lucy thing with the vote happened. But yeah, I think Nick could do well. I think somewhat similar to Emily P. I think he has a good strategic mind. I think it's a little bit risky. Like you guys have said, like it could be like the Leah effect of like, is there an effort issue? Is there an entitlement issue? But for me, I did not get that vibe. I think Nick could do well. So I mean, of the last round, I would have taken. I honestly would have taken Nick over almost anyone after I took Aaron. So I'm quite happy.
I'm
Right.
sorry, but if you say one of the first words, you're going to be annoying in a season, that's just like my plan is be annoying. Like, oh, for God's sake.
So
Yeah.
does anyone else have like strong views on how their team turned out? You know, who's feeling really confident? Anybody feeling not so hot?
Any drivers we got
I
here?
don't like half my team.
I got 4 of my top 7 on my big board, so I'm really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a good mix across seasons here. I don't think anybody.
Who else?
Does
Who
any-
else is? If
This is I think this is one of the funniest. The reverse order. Of
yeah, that's hilarious.
9th, 15th, and 18th. I think this is one of my favorite trends.
Do
I mean,
all
I
you
think-
guys? So Ryan said that his first pick, Kevin, is his winner pick from his team. Does that go for everybody, or is anyone willing to say that their winner pick is one of their lower picks?
I'm gonna say out of my 4, I am gonna give my winner pick to Jessie. I just feel like, I don't know, there's something about her that I'm really looking forward to seeing her. And I think, like I said, with another year of maturity under her belt, I think she's gonna be a better player this time around.
If I'm to be honest, I don't think any of my picks are winning. But
If you had to pick one,
I think I'm gonna go with Adam as my winner pick. You know,
Yeah,
nice redemption story from being the laughing stock of Tokidoki to the winner of All Stars. Who knows?
Nice growth arc. Yeah.
When I won the advantage of picking the draft order, I was like, I could go second to get that other pick, and I was like, if Jackson goes first, I'm gonna be pissed because I'm so all in on Jackson.
Fair.
Season 4 was fantastic for me. Like anytime Jackson's on the screen, I was just laughing or being impressed with like the idea that you're both good strategically and good TV is just like mind blowing to me. So that's.
so is he your winner pick?
Yeah, I'm all in.
Okay.
I wanted
I'd
to
like-
pick Jackson for the laughs because I just spent almost all of season 4 complaining about him
Yeah.
until like the episode before his boot where I said I like him, and then he gets sent home, and then in an interview, it's not that he calls me out, but
Also, I have Jackson and Aaron because Aaron was Jackson's producer, so I'm
Yeah.
happy with that too.
and there's
That's
a clip
smart.
of those, and there's a clip of those two in the trailer.
Yep.
With, like they're strategicing. That's not a
Did
word.
you say your pick, Harry? Your winner pick?
I was just about to say, I actually think my sort of dream winner pick would be Sarah, but actually out of the 4, I think Bree is probably the most likely to take it home. I think just because I've like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it just seems reasonable. It's a sort of win an All-Stars win would be Bree, and I think she has a lot of potential that I think a lot of people haven't realized and lower threat level. So yeah, I'm all in on Bree, I think, and Sarah if that happens.
I mean, who knows? There's a college survivor out there where the very first boot won their All-Star season. I'm not going to say which one just in case it's spoilers.
Yeah,
But
please
it
don't.
exists.
But
Yeah, and whoever has the first boot will then get Will as
Yeah.
well. So if Will wins the season,
Right.
then that will end up being, I guess, a very lucky pick for somebody.
I swear, if Tom wins the season, I got him purely because of the wheel. I'll donate half of the poster to Harry.
I think that'd be
Fine.
cut it.
yeah, I've got
You
one
can have
already.
the
It's
back
fine.
half.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah.
I'm willing to bet real money neither of those two are winning. Who would like to make a money bet? Like
From which two, Tom and Will?
Tom and Will, no chance.
If the final two
I
is
don't
Tom
believe
and
it.
Will, who's winning?
Tom.
We could bet on who's going further though.
I think the viewers are winning because a season with Tom and Will the final 2 is insane to watch. I would love that.
You know, production would just, I don't know, Wait, this is recording. I shouldn't say that.
In the last trailer, there was a mention of a potential first day vote out.
Oh, that's
If-
not real.
If that goes down, does anyone have any thoughts on who that would be?
Cooper.
Yeah.
I really hope like
For
All Stars is
Jackson.
actually like a 4-year-long prank, which basically is just to get Cooper out as a first boot on his own All-Star season. That'd be so cruel, undeniably cruel, but it'll be worth it every single second.
I mean, the twist isn't real, but hypothetically, if it was,
Why would it not be real?
because you're not doing it. You're not going to go through all this casting production, all this effort, all these people, and risk some of these people going home first on a day one twist. Plus, I've seen this twist done before, and it wasn't real.
All right. Well, thank you again, everybody, for joining us. This was awesome, and it'll be on YouTube at some point. So we appreciate it, and looking forward to the 21st, as I'm sure everybody else is. So,
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
no
Thank
problem.
you.
Good team. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
And
Bye.
I'll
Bye.
apologize now for stuff I'm going to say about this cast.
No worries. We want to hear like the honest thoughts. Everyone understands it's a TV show. It's fine.
Let's shit on Cooper. That's what we'll do. Right. See you later, guys. Have a good one.
See you guys.
Are you pumped? 10 days?
Dude, I am pumped, but also really stressed also because I have a lot, like the first like batch of episodes is like ready to go, but I'm trying to get like the whole thing like done. So I have like a few things still to do, but
Yep.
I'm really excited about it for sure. Very excited.
We're all not excited. That's why we're here. So
Yeah.
none of us.
I wish I could be in your guys' shoes before I knew everything.
Yeah,
that happened, so
I
I'm
really
jealous.
wish that because I was saying to somebody that like I'm the biggest Survivor Michigan fan of all because I've like edited all this time and I would love to be able to watch it and not know anything.
Yeah.
But obviously it's not gonna happen. Okay. So welcome to our second group for the Survivor Michigan All-Stars Revenge Tour Fantasy Draft. We have a great panel here. I'm gonna have each of them just kind of introduce themselves and talk just give a brief summary of like who you are and what your relationship is with College Survivor or Survivor Michigan. So Naomi, you're like the first one on my screen, so we'll start with you.
Oh my God. Hi everyone. My name's Naomi. You might know me from recapping Survivor Michigan season 3 and 4 over at the Live Reality Games Podcast Network. Otherwise, I'm probably just annoying on Twitter, and that's how you know me. So I'm really happy to be here with you guys because I love Survivor Michigan and I love College Survivor, and I'm psyched that you guys have reached this point in your what's the word? In your like fuck it. I'm not entertaining enough. Let's move on.
Fuck it. You reached
Yeah,
the
you're
point.
fuck it.
All right, Alex, you're next up.
What's up, everyone? My name is Alex. I love Survivor ever since I was a kid. I watched. With College Survivor, I just really started looking up YouTube for things I could find. And ironically, the first one I found was when Austin was posting episodes of season 1 of Survivor Michigan or Survivor Maryland. And then from there, I just tried to watch as much as I could, whatever I could find, OSU, Michigan, Boston. And I'm just happy to be here. Looking forward to what I'm sure is going to be a very exciting season from what I'm hearing from everyone. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. Dustin, you're up next.
Yay. All right, so my name's Dustin. Am a part of the defunct Survivor Analyst podcast.
Defunct? No. That's so sad.
Probably defunct. I don't know. We'll see. But so my first foray into college Survivor was actually season 4 of Survivor Michigan. Of which, after I watched the first episode, I picked Dale to win. So I'm pretty confident in picking the winner. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun discussing it. It was actually like getting to interview people after the fact was also a lot of fun. So if we do bring it back, I look forward to being able to do that again too.
So question, since then, did you watch seasons 1, 2, and 3, or did you not do that? All right, so this will be interesting.
Yeah. I had all the intentions in the world to do it, but life.
All right, so this will be
hard.
good. So how are you going to base your picks off?
Gut feeling.
Okay. Okay.
That'll be interesting. That's still fun to see. So
Dustin, if you take Sarah first, as a former winner, it's going to be really hard for her to win again. So just watch out for that.
No. Well, my first few picks, if I get to get them, they're probably going to be more sentimental reason. So.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right, Joseph, how about you?
Hey, my name is Joseph. I'm a current student at UCI and heavily involved in Survivor at UCI, which is still not released to the public yet because we're still kind of in our early stages. I played on season 1 of that, and I will be on the upcoming All-Star season, which is a little tease for those who eventually watch this and or Survivor at UCI in like 5 years. As far as Survivor Michigan, fun fact, I actually watched Survivor Michigan before I ever watched a season of like CBS Survivor, because I knew of like Survivor, the concept, but I didn't necessarily know of like I didn't watch the show as much. So when I found out about like Survivor at UCI, I wanted to watch like a college Survivor, because I figured like that would be more it'd be more better for me to like kind of watch and then see like how I could play later on. So now I'm a big Survivor fan, but yeah, that's a little fun fact is I actually watched Survivor Michigan before I ever watched like CBS Survivor.
Sweet. All right, and last but certainly not least, Austin, what is your affiliation with College Survivor?
This is my first time hearing about it.
Welcome.
No, well, before I go, I think Alex may literally be the first ever fan of College Survivor. I'm going to give him that title right now. He was like the OG person who commented. It's like the only person commenting on season 1, which doesn't even exist for Maryland, and like kept me going through the dark days of that. So shout out to Alex. It's great to be on a podcast with him. No, I'm really excited to be here. I am the creator of Survivor Maryland, back when College Survivor was just one College Survivor. So it's really awesome to see how it's grown since then. And I can vividly remember video chatting before the Zoom days with George and Claire before Big Brother legend Claire before, as they were starting season 1 in Michigan. And I was like, oh my God, this franchise is going to be good. They had like 115 applicants. I was like, what on earth is going on? What is in the water at Michigan? And so to see you guys kind of culminate that first generation years later is really cool for me. And I was just at the season 19 wrap party for Survivor Maryland last night, which is insane. And it's just really cool to see kind of how much this has grown and become. And I'm really pumped for this season, which I think is going to be another just banner season for College Survivor in general. Yeah, well, thank you. So good to have, the godfather of College Survivor here to give his official predictions. Yeah, and honest, and like, I guess all of us are sort of indebted to you originally. So none of us would be here if you hadn't done that. Yeah, so everybody should let me have what I want to. I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I'll let Matthew take it from here a little bit and start explaining.
I will. So 20 players will be picked. 1 player will not be picked. Whoever has the first boot on their team will then get the one not picked player added to their team. So you'll kind of get a mulligan if you pick the first boot. And you'll get points. If the first boot earns any points, you'll get their points and the points of whoever joins your team. And yeah, so that's basically the format. There's a little side competition with the other group that we'll explain later. The scoring real quick. So if your player advances a placement, so a tribal council happens and they don't go home, your player gets a point. If there's a vote for your player at final tribal council, they get a point. If your player finds an idol or advantage, they get 2 points. If your player plays an idol or advantage successfully, 3 points. Ian and I have already scoped out what counts as successful advantage and idol plays. So there'll be no subjectivity. We've already decided that. Your player says the episode title, you get 1 point. Your player wins individual immunity, you get 1 point. And if your player surpasses their original placement, they get 1 point. So say, for example, Nick, who got second in season 1 or in season 2, if he wins the season, he'll get an extra point. And then we also have 3 advantages that are up for grabs. So how these are going to work, and these will be real quick. So what we're going to do is these are based off of the player card answers that we've been posting on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. And I'm just going to read a response from one of the player cards, and you guys are going to have to guess who said it. You have an unlimited number of guesses. As soon as I say, chat is open, spam whoever you think it is. First person to get it gets the advantage. You can only get 1 advantage. So if you get the first advantage, then you're out of the running for the second advantage. and so on. So 3 different people get an advantage, which will be applied to the draft.
I didn't sign up for an org, you guys.
This will be in the chat, in the Zoom
yes.
chat, whichever name I see first, I will.
Yes,
will
and you have
be
to wait
declared the
till
answer.
once I'm done reading the question, I'll say chat open, and then you can put your responses in there. I'm going to pull up the chat so I can see it as well, but I think Ian, you should be good. Okay.
I got it, yeah.
All right, so yeah, spelling does count if it's...
Does?
What?
Yes. Just so everybody has to type the same
How do you
name.
spell
Ian,
Megan? God
that one I might...
MEGHAN.
Yes.
Okay,
you
the
can't
right
do
spelling.
you can't do CPR and just like everybody assumes it's Cooper. Like you have to actually type it out so everybody's on the same playing field. All right, so I will go with our first one real quick. So I'm going to read what their response was. I'll say what the question we asked them was, what the response was, and you're going to have to guess who said it. All right, let me pull up our first one. Okay, so the question we asked was, a typical Sunday looks like, and this player says, "Hi Key, recovering from Saturday night after partying with Bailey and Maggie. Chat is open." Oh, Dustin got it.
Dustin got it first.
Very quick, very quick. All right, with Nick. So Nick was the correct answer. So the first advantage, and we'll reveal all the advantages after all 3 have been given out. So Dustin gets the first advantage.
Listen, so I was looking through all of the things, and I was on Nick. Whenever I was like, "Hi Key, Nick."
Yeah, yes. I assume most people won't have these memorized. It's probably just going to be like based on what you think the answer is. But if somebody
We all
actually
got the right season,
then
yeah,
that's true.
Everyone did guess season 2.
Job,
we're
everyone.
pretty close. I think these were all reasonable guesses based on people who would party with Maggie.
Yeah, the other guesses were Lucy, Sam, and Kevin.
Yes.
For the viewers at home who can't see the chat.
No. All right, advantage 2. The question we asked was, my Achilles heel is, and this person said, having to do anything before like 10 a.m. Chat is open.
We have a Bree, Sam, Akshay, Jesse,
Nothing yet.
Will, Crouch.
Nope.
Emily
there we
B,
go.
Cooper.
Yes. Cooper
Joseph
is the
gets
correct
it.
answer.
Cooper, the correct answer.
All right. So Dustin has the first advantage, and then Joseph has the second advantage. All right. Third advantage. Let me pull our responses up, and let me find my person. Okay. All right. The question we asked was, my last meal would be, and they said pad thai and chai tea latte with 3 shots of espresso. Chat is open.
Whoa. We've Jesse, Bree, Will, Leia, Lucy, Megan.
This is a harder one.
Akshay, Jackson, Tom, Adam. Has anyone guessed it yet, Matthew?
No.
Bailey. I have no idea who the answer is. Sam.
This is a tough one. There we go. There we go. Emily B. It's Emily B.
Oh God.
Emily B.
Alex.
Alex.
We're in trouble.
All right, so here, let's put over here who has the advantages, and then we will reveal them.
It's
Dustin got
okay,
the first
Austin.
one.
We're experts. It's fine. We'll
Right.
be all right.
These are not. I wouldn't
They're not
call
like
these overpowered
super
advantages.
Super
so
OP, yeah.
Don't be too upset. All right, Dustin, the advantage you get is you get to pick the draft order. So that's your advantage. All right. Second advantage, which is going to Joseph, is the spin the wheel advantage. So what that means is, on any other player, before they make their pick, you can play your spin the wheel advantage, and we'll spin a wheel with everybody who's still available to be picked. Name, whoever it lands on is who that person gets. So spin the wheel advantage. You have to play it before they make their pick, and it basically, everybody who's left on a wheel, spin the wheel, whoever lands on they pick. Pretty easy. All right, Alex, your advantage is the flip-flop advantage. Oh, I think I should have changed this. We actually changed this to the idol. So it's basically just an idol. Yeah.
I was like, what is this?
We'll just call it the idol. So basically, after somebody makes their pick, you can play your idol, and whoever they picked, they have to pick a new person. So it's not like you get the person. It's just if somebody makes a pick and you think their team's too stacked, or they pick right before you and you're like, actually, you're not picking that person, you can play your idol. So there we go. So those are our 3 advantages. Hopefully,
Down on Survivor Michigan, you would make a draft confusing. God, the line's already screwed over. Damn it.
I mean, hopefully these won't be too overpowered. Like even if you get the spin the wheel played, you'll still get to make 3 out of the 4 picks. So I don't think these will ruin anybody's chances, but could be interesting to see how they're played. So, All right, let's get to our draft board where Dustin will
Ooh, come on, Rainbow.
decide our order. And you guys can also, as you pick your teams, or at any point, you can give your team a name. So it might be based on the composition of your team. But at some point, you have to give your team a name. All right, Dustin, let us know what order you want us to draft in.
So much power. Well, I'm going first.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna let's see. Alex second.
Huh?
Austin third. Naomi fourth. And Joseph fifth.
Okay.
Did you have any rationale for how you decided this?
Well, me, because I wanted the first pick. Alex, no particular reason. Austin, I picked third. Him being I didn't know that I was playing against the godfather of the college survivor, so I had to put him. I felt
You
like
didn't read the
spot.
Twitter DM group?
No, I guess not. So I feel like the third spot is the most disadvantaged spot.
Yeah, me too. Won't forget that.
I put Naomi at fourth, mostly because of like how much she's involved in college survivor.
Oh dear.
And then Joseph, he was just the last person. So I'm glad I could give him a little. So.
I think you can win the draft from any position though. So I think we'll see if it ends up mattering. But all right. So let me pull up our list of players. There's no formal clock, but don't take forever to make your picks when they come around. So Dustin, you are on the clock first. Every single player is on the board. Let us know who want to take.
Could I just play it right now?
Which one do you have? Oh, the wheel.
The spin wheel.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
The wheel is open. I will give it a spin, and whoever it lands on is Dustin's pick. And it's spinning. And it's close to Leia. It is Leia.
Wow.
All right.
That's a sentimental one for you, right?
Yeah.
So do you know anything about Leia, Dustin?
I don't.
Does anybody else?
Yeah,
Leia is not friends with Cooper, okay? Don't even imply that.
Do other people have thoughts on Leia? Like, would they have taken her this early, or what do you guys think about her?
I don't think so. I think she had too much, like she was too high, like ranked in her last season, that she's going to be a target early.
Yeah, but I think she's got some prospects because I know she's, the connection with Cooper. I think I heard in one of the interviews she's close with Bree. So and she played a really good game the first time. I mean, coming close, losing that tiebreaker in the Final Four. But I just don't know. I worry for the people that made it super far their first time around, because they're going to be like prime targets for other people who want to do better. And I think Leia is like, for season one, is one of those top tier players along with Cooper that people are going to be worried about, especially since season one's was released, I believe, during season 4. So people know about it. So they know how dangerous she can be.
So I have no idea how I'm really interested with the season 1 players, because there's a weird thing where like everything Alex said should make sense. And yet I feel like the season 2 through 4 cast were like so high on their own supply that they only really view their seasons as the one that matters, except for like people like Matthew or Cooper, who like had a very strong legacy in later seasons. So I kind of feel like people like Leia could fly more under the radar than I would have thought, even though their seasons aired. Now I'm going to caveat all this by saying that I find all-star seasons like literally impossible to pick. And famously, spoilers for Maryland. Well, I won't say the outcome, but for all-stars, but Chris Thomas was literally the last pick in the Survivor Maryland All-Stars draft that we did. And then I think really late in the one that we did on the YouTube stream too. So it's so hard because you never really know how everybody's going to come in. You can't just judge people based on who they are. You have to judge them based on how every single person will perceive them. And that's impossible to know. Anyway, long-winded way of saying, like, I feel like Leia was a pretty not bad for someone to get on the wheel.
Mm.
I mean,
she likes pretzels, so I can get behind that.
That's true.
I mean, my quick opinion of Leia is that I think that what people kind of forget is that like there's always a gravitational pull of like upperclassmen that people always kind of want to work with the older people. They have a lot, like Leia has a lot of authority. She has a lot of people who like want to work with her. So I'm really excited. And she's got a cool haircut. So I feel like it's a new year, new her, right?
She's bringing some cool points to the table.
Yes. All right. Let's see. I was going to put Naomi's team over here too, because we got that. All right.
Dog apostrophe S.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
the S
dog
key on my
has got
keyboard.
to eat.
It's
Yeah.
really dogs.
Is that okay? I don't know. I can't remember if there's an apostrophe in there.
I love the lowercase g. Like, what is the aesthetic
Okay.
here?
All right. We'll go. There we go. I'm trying to keep everything consistent with the font and the
Matthew's
colors.
getting a lot of heat in this draft so far.
Yeah. I'm trying my best here. All right. Alex, you are up next. Everybody except for Leia is on the board. I will pull our cards up and let us know who you're thinking.
All right. So I've had this person in mind. I think it might be a little bit of a reach going this early, but I feel good. What I did to prepare is I really looked at the first parts of the couple seasons. I watched a lot of the previously on to like refresh my memory on certain things and rewatch clips. I think one of the toughest positions to play in your first time is a freshman, because not only are you having to acclimate with learning about college and everything, you have to get to know all these new people, and putting a season of Survivor on that's got to be very difficult. So I'm going to choose someone the first time around. They were a freshman. They showed promise in their game early on. They were getting in alliances, but then they made a very crucial mistake that eventually cost them the game. But I think it was rooted in self-interest that I appreciate. It's someone who's willing to play. And although I said I was worried about season 1 people having their season released, I am going to take a risk. I am taking Akshay with my first pick.
All right. I was trying to get where you were going there, and eventually we made our way there. So
two season 1s off the board, right?
That's true. That's true. Very interesting. Yes. Anybody think that was a reach or maybe a good spot for Akshay to be taken?
I think there's a lot of Akshay upside. I think that he's clearly somebody who like loves playing, loved the game, loved the experience, has been very involved for the past few years, right? And I think he is somebody who can really sort of like self-reflect, you know? Everyone gets nervous when they play, and especially in All-Stars, and you can trip over yourself, but he's had a ton of time to think about how things could go differently. So I love this pick. This is iconic. Good for Alex.
I will say I would not have taken him this high, but I'm getting talked into it by both of you. And I think there is a lot of benefit. One thing that I noticed in our All-Star season was the people who got to see their seasons, you learn more, like orders of magnitude more than you would even just thinking about self-reflecting. And it's very hard for people to figure out exactly what they did wrong and how they were without really seeing it. And so the season 1 people, I think, have a huge leg up on that front.
I think one thing that I think kind of similar to what you're saying, like self-reflecting, but I think another advantage that of Akshay in particular is the fact that like he was on production for all of the seasons, and the fact that he was able to watch everyone. So I think honestly that's something that's a little underrated, because I think if you know how other people work, you can better predict how they're going to act. And I think a lot of Survivor is making sure you don't put yourself in a position where like you can get screwed over by someone else. So I think if you know how other people act, that can be really beneficial to yourself.
All right, so some points being made for Akshay. He goes off the board at 2nd overall. And now, Austin, you are up. First round pick number 3. Everybody except Leia and Akshay are on the board. Austin, give us your pick.
Well, this is hard because all of my top picks are still on the board, and I was hoping that a couple of them would fall off so my decision would be easier. And that did not happen. So I will go with someone who I think also shares from some of the kind of benefit of being in the production world and just like having the right amount of connections to be a contender in the season. I'm going to go with good old Mam Soros.
All right.
I just think Sam has the right view of the game. I really laughed at his video. And he's definitely a player, he's definitely a strategist, but I don't think is quite going to try so hard to be a character that it will ruin his game from, tanking, I guess. Because I think a lot of people, it's a really interesting balance where people are like trying to come in to win the season, but also very much coming to try and to be a legend. And there's a hard balance to strike on that. And it's hard to accomplish both. So I think Sam could strike that balance pretty well and could go pretty far.
Anybody else thoughts on Austin's pick, or scared of Austin's team with Sam on it?
Sam is a really smart guy, and I think he's a really smart player. Not to mention, he has been podcasting with Sarah and Jack about Survivor Michigan for God knows how long, right? So I think if you're looking at like production upside, just smart guy upside, he ate a whole fucking block of tofu. You know what I mean? Like, this is your guy.
He'll do what it takes. That is true. That's true. All right. So a couple early season people off. We got a season 2 and 2 season 1s off the board. Season 3 and season 4 remain untouched. Naomi, you are up with the 4th overall pick. The board is yours.
So, I've actually, funny enough, Austin, I don't think I intentionally did this, but I've been watching Survivor Maryland All-Stars over again. And I just, in seeing what it takes to win an All-Star season, you got to work hard. You got to be so dedicated to the game, and you have to like always be putting 100% in. And if you slack for like a moment, they'll cut your throat. And you know who has been thinking about All-Star since the moment they were eliminated is Andrew Crouch. And I will be taking Andrew Crouch off the board.
All right.
Good pick.
Crouch, the infamous Andrew Crouch.
Crouch also does have some Chris Thomas in him, and the other requirement.
Yeah, he's also a little.
You have to be drunk for at least the first 4 episodes. So that's also...
It's like a LeCompton Chris Lovechild. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's both all in one.
I can say that no spoilers, but there will be at least one Crouch drinking moment.
I thought you were gonna say ripping their
In
shirt
episode
open.
1,
I was like,
yeah.
before
No,
that,
I think even in episode 1, I believe.
Yeah, it's in
you see him
episode
drinking.
1. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Crouch, who famously got rocked out, and as he was laying on the pavement of Triangle Fraternity right after he got voted out, he said, "So All-Stars," and that was the moment that we knew that we had to cast him and bring him back. Not that there was really any doubt, but yeah, somebody who definitely, 5 minutes after he was voted out was thinking about All-Stars and was ready for his return. So Crouch is off the board, our first season 3 person off the board. And Joseph, you have the next 2 picks.
That's such a good pick. Sorry.
That's a really good pick. I was torn between those two.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a great pick because that was going to be my pick.
Ah,
That might be karma for me playing that spin the wheel advantage. But okay, because now, well, I know my first pick because that was always going to be my second pick.
All right,
So,
we'll do the first pick first then.
I think a lot of I've kind of like watched different types of All-Star seasons, and I feel like a common theme that tends to happen is like all the big threats go first. Then it becomes like people who are playing kind of like who are running the game then go next, and it's usually like the ones who like kind of like sneak through to the end that tend to like put themselves in a situation to win the game. And I think and what's funny is like the person who I'm gonna pick is like compared herself to a winner of an All-Star season, because I'm gonna pick Megan. I think
All right.
I think that, like she said, like she's a lot like Amber, and I think she has a lot of I feel like the Jackson Megan relationship at some point it's gonna be like revealed. I feel like it's too intertwined that they're gonna be able to keep it a secret the entire game. And then I don't know, I feel like there's a lot that's going like for her that I think Megan's definitely Megan's my pick for my first.
All right.
The Jackson Boston Rob implication is like haunting.
Yeah, what do people's thoughts on the Jackson Megan romance going into this?
Gonna help them? Is it gonna hurt them?
I think it's good because I think it can bring a little balance to their games. Because it's like, if you look at it as like hero and villain, you got Megan, who's like a hero-like figure. I mean, she called herself Jesus. And then Jackson, who's like, he's like an 80s villain. Like he gives that snark and everything. So I think they could bring balance in that. Maybe working together, Megan can be a little more bold with her moves with Jackson's influence. And maybe, just maybe, Megan can humble Jackson a little bit more, which could maybe help tone down his threat level. And I think if people become aware of their relationship, I think you always go for Jackson first. So Megan has that buffer in front of her. So that's that was another one of my top 3 picks that was sniped out. So I think Megan is going to do really well.
Joseph, you're up again, your second pick.
Okay. I'm kind of picking this on the fly because I had a plan that was disrupted, but I think someone who's like not necessarily like similar gameplay style, but I think in a similar situation where they weren't necessarily like a big threat on their season that could kind of slip through. I think I'm gonna go with Bailey because I feel like she's someone who like understands the game a lot. She put herself in a pretty decent position on her tribe, and I wouldn't necessarily say she was swap screwed, but also I think she's someone that had she slipped through to merge, I feel like she could have done a lot of damage.
If your two first picks, Megan and Bailey, say they end up on a tribe, you think they're two people that are working together?
I don't know. Sometimes they say opposites. They say sometimes opposites attract. So I feel like it would be something that I feel like they're different types of at least like based on like the edit, like obviously like we don't know them like as people, but how like they were portrayed, like they aren't exactly like they weren't portrayed the same way. But obviously you never know. Like I feel like unlikely relationships is a huge deciding factor in Survivor because what you don't expect is what can kill you.
Any other Bailey thoughts from the peanut gallery?
I'm just super excited to see Bailey and Kevin 2.0. You know what I mean? Like whatever chaos that's gonna be, I'm hitting rewind. You know, rewind 15 seconds, watch it again. I'm there.
I also think Bailey was a pretty good pick because I don't think she'll come in with too high of a threat. Considering I feel like the like drama with Maggie will overshadow the meta game of like that she actually is a very strategic player. So I think it's a good pick.
All right, so we are into round two. Naomi, you picked Crouch in round one. You're up again in round two. Who are you taking?
Now, I feel like the part of the problem with podcasting about Survivor Michigan and getting to cover and interview people is that like I have a lot of favorites and I only have 4 spots on my team and I can't be picking just favorites, right? I got to go strategic. But somebody actually who's been a favorite of mine, I like that Tom is on the screen right now. Somebody who's actually been a favorite of mine who I actually haven't really talked about being a huge fan of online, but I think is great, has a lot of the social capital, and is very, very smart, is Bree, and I'm taking Bree.
All right. Bree is off the board in round two. Followed two, we got back-to-back season 2 picks here with Bree. Was anybody else thinking about taking Bree? Austin, Alex, Dustin, was Bree on your mind coming around here with your picks or lower down on the board?
I had Bree pretty high, so I think Naomi made a good pick there. If Bree had fallen to me, I would have taken her.
All right. Anybody else thoughts on Bree's prospects this season?
I don't know enough about Bree's connection still, so she was not super high on my list, but I would be very easy or not surprised to be proven very wrong.
I thought what was interesting is when watching like the reunion podcast, it kind of seemed like there was tension between like her and some other people, or between Will, I think was the person, because I think Will mentioned it in like his audition tape. So I feel like
yes,
tension is I feel like it's something that can like obviously like everyone's like strategizing, but I feel like real life emotions always like overshadow some stuff. So it's not necessarily like what I feel like might happen, but I feel like that's something like interesting to note that I feel like it's definitely going to like come into play. So
I have a lot of season 3 thoughts, but we'll get there when some of those people get picked.
Yeah, I see. No one's really dived into like the true madness of season 3 yet.
That's true. That's true.
We're on the edges.
That's true. All right, Austin, you are up next, joining Sam on your team. Who are you going to pick?
Oh God, this is not getting easier. I still have a lot of people I really would be excited to take. And I think I'm going to go not with the top person on my draft board right now, but someone I think I just think they're going to be a big player in the season. One thing that's really stuck in my mind is that there's been a lot of talk from Ian and others about like that some of the seasons were edited really with all-stars in mind. And so I think it makes sense to focus some on character. There were a lot of big characters throughout this list, so this isn't really narrowing it down a lot, but I've been trying to think through people that would sort of fit that of like a very intentional edit in their first seasons that really expands on their all-star story. Now, a smart person would have gone back and watched all the seasons and looked for those nuggets. I am not a smart person, so I didn't do that, unfortunately. But in trying to think of what I've seen, and I feel like it was summed up actually in their audition video, but I feel like the connections Jackson has is going to make him a pretty big player in the season. I don't know if he's going to win. He's too big of a threat. But at least from the scoring system, Ian, don't change the episode titles. He's definitely going to get 1 or 2. So I don't want to see if he doesn't, I'm blaming you.
They have all been decided. So
okay,
there will be no changes.
But just between like season 4, I think what is the biggest list of people. Maybe not. I guess it's season 3.
It's
Yeah.
2 and 3, then 2, then 1 and 4 are tied.
But so, my orders got totally messed up for the list. Anyway, I feel like he's a lot of connections on 4. He's got a lot of connections on. He's someone who's really well known in the cast, and I feel like a lot of the people who come back will want to play with the Coopers, the asshole alliance with Kevin. So I just feel like Jackson, and then of course the Megan connection, which I wasn't going to answer your question earlier about whether I think it will go well. I do think it'll go pretty well for them. But they obviously, I don't think, can both make the end, but I think they'll both be pretty big players. So I'll take Jackson on my team and hope that he at least makes a long run and is pretty impactful.
All right. So Jackson is off the board. He's our second season 4
So
person.
funny story. Jackson went first overall in the other groups.
That's
draft.
true.
That's insane. Like, I like Jack. That's deranged. Whoever did that is an idiot. I'm sorry.
Well,
What the hell?
The rationale for it was that Jackson has the potential to hit all of the categories of how you get points, which I thought was a pretty fair rationale. They were like,
he wins all the
find
challenges.
idols, he wins challenges.
Is he gonna get jury votes?
We'll say of the
We'll have to
5
see.
people picked in the first round in the other group, only 2 have been picked so far. So
And it was Sam Jackson. Nice. Nailed it.
correct. Yeah, it was. Yeah, actually it was. Yeah. There you go. All right.
I was just gonna say about Jackson. I got to interview Jackson and Dale and Shannon, which were so fun, and you, Matthew.
Yeah.
Still waiting on Kat to hit me back up, but it's fine.
You'll be waiting for a while on that one.
No, but I talking to Jackson, like he was doing a lot, and he was always kind of working, but also like really trying to build social bonds, even though he always kind of seems like, the cocky challenge guy. And I would definitely recommend watching that interview. I think if you want like some unfiltered, like long form Jackson. But I think this is a great pick by Austin. And I was hoping that everybody would avoid him for a little bit longer. We could maybe snag him late, but it's fine. It's fine.
No, I was going to pick Jackson first, actually.
I was assuming that
I was
pick.
wondering if you were going to do that, because I was like, if that happened and Jackson went first in both drafts, his ego would go through the absolute roof. I was like, that would be wild. He would love that if that had happened.
I expect to get a DM from Jackson after for saying nice things about him. I'm one of the 10% of the commenters, so
he'll watch.
You'd be surprised, Jackson. Originally, when season 4 was happening, I thought that a lot of people were disliking him. But then after he got voted out, there was a ton of comments that were like, "Oh my God, so bummed Jackson is out." So I think he has a lot of closet fans for sure.
He's on Discord.
I think a little bit, yeah.
He definitely reads all the stuff, and yeah.
Yeah. All right. Alex, you are up next. You picked Akshay in the first round. Who is joining your team next? I'll bring the board up since significant amount of people have been picked so far. So
I talked about earlier with Akshay that freshman, it's a tough road. You have to work hard. And I also am of the belief that those who make like a big mistake that first time around, that is a learning lesson they can use, because then it can give them more information on what they shouldn't do. And I feel this person played under the radar game. They were underestimated and they're ready to break out and really play hard. I'm actually going to take Lucy.
Oh, that's
Lucy.
I forgot Lucy, the freshman too.
The ever popular Lucy.
Yep.
That was the other person I was debating with.
I just feel like the Final Four was a rough round for her, with essentially breaking off that relationship with Nick. So I am worried about how contentious that might be this time around, considering she was essentially the tie-breaking vote that cost him the win in that final tribal council. But I feel like she understood. Everyone said she was underestimated, and she has played. She knows more about the game than she did the first time. So I'm hoping she can use that to really continue to build those strong connections, but now add a little bit more strategy and be a little more bold with her moves moving forward.
What about if Lucy and Akshay end up on a tribe together? You think your teammates are working together or no?
I think so. I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be willing to work with anyone. I think that's the key to being a good player. You need to be able to have options and be available to open with almost anything. And I'm worried about players like a lot of season 3 where there could be potential conflict, because early on that could be very easy targets for those first couple votes. And I'm trying to look towards longevity and who can make it a little further.
All right. So Lucy off the board. We are almost done with round 2. Dustin, you have the next 2 picks. Let us know what you're thinking.
So this is a sentimental pick. I'm picking Adam.
Okay.
AJ. Let's see. So first off, Adam was the first person that me and Josh interviewed after we started covering Survivor Michigan. Also, in that interview, Adam talked about how he is away from campus a lot due to, I guess, life stuff. And so I'm hoping that he's going to be able to be a lot more focused this go around and have a bit more. If I'm being honest, I don't expect Adam to win, but I do expect him to make it farther than what he did last time. And so I'm playing for points with Adam along with sentimental pick.
Anybody else? Adam only had a couple episodes to go off of, but anybody else get good vibes from Adam, bad vibes? What are we thinking?
I love Adam. They're amazing. I think they're really funny. I also got to interview Adam, and I think that they have an actually good mind for the game. Sometimes they make terrible alliances, and that's okay. That's part of growing as a Survivor player. I did terrible the first time I ever played Fake Survivor, and sometimes you use that and you grow from it and you learn from it. I think the one thing for me that I'm almost worried about is a lot of the season 4 people. I don't know that they have like the they don't have like the group behind them, if that makes sense. The people from 2, 3, 1, they've been in there for a long time. You've been on production or what have you. Whereas 4 is so new. But maybe that gives Adam a chance to be reborn, like from the ashes of their terrible game. They rise.
Adam created an amazing name for his alliance. Well,
bitch cool mid-bitch, correct. Which we had to decimate, but it was a good name. It was a good name for sure. So, all right, Dustin, you have the next pick, which will be the first pick of round 3. So we're halfway through. We still have an idol in play. We still have 11 people left to be picked. So plenty of sleepers possibly on the board. But Dustin, where are you going?
I'm gonna pick Cooper.
All right. Cooper is off the board. Obviously a big character, but
so curious people's thoughts on Cooper.
Yeah, all 4 seasons, right? And this pick was fueled a lot by talking with Ian whenever he and Josh spoke. Ian had framed it that Cooper was like one of the big driving forces to make sure that Survivor Michigan continued so that he could actually get on the All-Star season. And so I don't think that drive should be underestimated.
Yeah, so other people's thoughts, because Cooper coming into it, I mean, obviously, probably one of the biggest targets of anybody, you know? So how do people think, but knows everybody, how do people think that's going to work out for him?
I feel like with Cooper, he has like a very low chance to win. I feel like just because there's going to be a certain point in the game where everyone's going to realize like we can't let Cooper get to there's like certain people who play where if you let them get to the end, like no matter what position, like they're probably going to win. And that's based on like maybe like how likable they are, just like how they play, how they like interact with people. And I think he's one of those people, but I think he is someone that might be able to avoid getting eliminated early just because other people might want to use him as a shield perhaps. And the fact that he has all those connections. So I don't expect him to go pre-merge, but I would say he's someone that I would think maybe goes like mid-merge.
Let me put it this way to everybody. If you're on a tribe with Cooper beginning of the game, are you trying to align with him for his connections? Are you using him as a shield, or are you saying too dangerous, get rid of him right away?
I think the danger is knowing that he has all those connections. So you know that he knows every single person in the game. He knows how they play because he watched. And I think we can just look back on his first season. He built those strong connections early, but then people knew what he was doing. So then he got targeted at the merge, I believe, during that rock draw. So I think eventually he can coast on those relationships for a while, but eventually it's just going to come back against him. And I think I would predict that he goes out late pre-merge. Even I would think, because people are going to see that as too threatening, because you can't have, like I said earlier, the most dangerous player is a player with options, and Cooper has as many options as possible with those relationships.
Austin, come on. I want to know host to host.
Yeah.
So when I played in the mini game of Survivor Maryland, the surprise one, the only rule was that I couldn't get voted out first, which I did not know. But that's what they told the cast. But it didn't really matter because basically the first few rounds of the game, everybody was just like excited with the idea of playing with the host. And Cooper's a little bit different because he did play and some of them played with him and like saw how strategic he was. So I don't think he gets a free pass in that way, but I kind of tend to agree that he will be able to either pull a lot of strings or at least be really impactful in the early stage of the game. And like something we saw in Maryland All-Stars with Lecomte was that he was this huge gravitational force that everybody turned to. And yeah, everybody wanted to take him out at some point, but it's very easy. I mean, if people are playing smart games early in All-Stars, if you can get in a good spot where someone's a bigger target than you, it's an easy way to play, and a lot of people do it. So Cooper could be easily one of those people where it's like, yeah, we can get rid of him at some point, but let's let him kind of pull a lot of strings before if we feel like we're close. So I happen to think that Cooper will go into the merge and decently far, and he could rack up a lot of points. But I agree, he has a really low chance to win. But I think this was a good value for him to get at this point in the draft.
Yeah, I also have to say, as somebody who's done a lot of productions, you do have a little bit of like a separation from the players. Even if you're the host, unless you're watching everything go down, you don't really know the relationships and their intricacies. I feel like Ian, you as the editor, would probably have a better full breadth of knowledge than Cooper does while the season's happening, because you get to see the footage where I feel like Cooper maybe he's checking the Google Drive or whatever, but you are still a little separated, and they're not talking to you all the time. They're talking to you at tribal or challenges, but they're not socializing with you. So it's not quite as deep as if you had played a season together. Production, there's always a little bit of a split. It's like, oh, I've been watching you for the past 90 days. Nice to meet you. It's very weird.
Well, Michigan, you guys also had people do their own confessionals, right?
Yeah, back and forth. But yeah, most of the time people filmed their own. We did have it people assigned producer confessionals also, but they were more infrequent.
Yeah, because otherwise I agree with Naomi. That was the only time where I felt like I really knew what was going on. Otherwise, you are sort of a passive observer. But the other thing I think could be hard for Cooper is that the transition from going to knowing everything to not knowing anything is very hard. And I mean, that probably will be true for some people in production in general, but I do think there is a little bit of a different sense as the host where you are that face of all of
it. Last point. I would, it is an all-star season, so I think everybody's a big enough threat that other people's threat levels get balanced out from that.
Good point. I will say though, Cooper, I think outside of me being as current and watching the Google Drive and keeping in track of uploads and what's going on, I think Cooper is probably, at least on season 2 and 3, probably the second most informed, if I would consider myself the most. So he was keeping up with his stuff, even as he was hosting. But all right, we are back to Alex for the second pick in the third round. Alex, what are you thinking?
I am torn right now between two people, and it's going to be one of the first, I believe it's the first season 3 person that's going to be off the board, but I'm torn between two.
I think we just have Crouch.
Crouch was taken. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Crouch was taken.
But we haven't delved deeper into the season 3 waters. Yeah.
Sure.
5 of them right here. Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with another person that was a little underrated on their season and really got screwed by a twist, the demerge. I'm going to take Emily B.
All right.
Wow.
First, Emily is off the board.
So thoughts on Emily B? Why did you take her?
I feel like she was seen as a loyalist. So I think that's going to be good because people are going to see she was in the core of that Savu Savu. And the only reason she really lost is because she hesitated in that one moment to grab that buff and Devin snaked it from under her. If she grabs that buff and the positions are switched, I think she's primed for a deep run in the game. So I think she can. I think this season she's not gonna hesitate. She's not going to sit back. I think it's another person along this growth arc that I could see step up to be a more active player as opposed to the previous time.
All right, so Emily B is off the board. I'll go over real quick before Austin's pick who is still left. Just to remind everybody, we've got Nick and Dylan, 2 pretty high placements still on the board. We've got a first boot. Sarah Gallagher is still on the board. Another Emily P is on the board. Jesse, Will, Aaron, Tom, and Kevin are still on the board. Austin, you are up. Who will be joining Sam and Jackson on Team Austin?
Okay, I'm happy with how things are going. Cooper was my next pick, but I've got a few more in a tier that I'm happy with. Okay, interesting. I will not say how they are all put together, but there's an interesting connection. Anyway, I'm going to take someone who also could have this growth narrative, who I think was a pretty popular and big presence on season 3, despite really not knowing a lot about Survivor. And that's part of my thought process with the sort of editing for the future thing. And I think this person could end up being a real force if they show more of a leap. So I'm going to take Jesse.
All right.
Yeah.
Jesse
That's who I was
Good answer.
deciding
Good
between.
answer.
That's who I was split between.
Alex, any thought to using your idol, or no, still holding on to that?
No, I'll let Austin have Jesse.
All right.
Thanks, Alex.
Any other thoughts on Emily B and Jesse? These two season 3 people who
Back to back here.
may be back for revenge.
I think that season 3 had a lot of strong personalities. A lot of them are still left. But I think that if we've seen anything from season 3, and we've seen the way that Dylan won, it's the quiet people you have to look out for. And I think that these 2 women are again, like very smart and very observant, very social. And maybe even though they were in the background of their alliances, that didn't mean that they weren't playing. And I'm hoping that being an all-star will give them the sort of kick in the butt they need to apply, like really apply themselves this time around.
I happen to think the modern all-star season requires someone to it. I think that the person who's like so under the radar winning as an all-star season was a popular pick for a while, but I just don't feel like we've seen it very recently. It's definitely still not good to be the biggest threat going in, and especially if it's unbalanced, you get like a game changers. But I've been thinking about the sweet spot of like someone who is capable of like leading alliances and making big moves, but not so overt that they're just going to get taken out right away or be a huge threat. And Jessie, I feel like she'll call people out, she'll stand out to people, she'll go reach out and talk to people and make connections. So that's my hope, is that she can kind of pull it all together and really show that growth.
All right, so Jesse is off the board. Naomi, you are up next. Who is joining Crouch and Bree on your team?
Oh God, I got a lot of faves. I almost like feel bad picking Paddock or Sarah because I literally produced a season of fake Survivor they were in, and I think they're legendary in their own unique ways. And I also played with them, and that was like a trip and a half. But I kind of want to go out of my comfort zone. And I almost want to pick someone that I don't know if I actually believe in, but I'm like, I think I'm gonna pick Erin.
Okay.
And let me say this. I think that Erin went through a whole lot on her season, and I actually just saw her recently in New York. And
are you sure, Naomi? Because I heard you saw me yesterday in New York and I wasn't there.
okay, well, blame your Instagram stories on that one. And I think that Erin is such a big fan of Survivor and is such a like effort put in kind of person. And she came out of a really shitty spot, a little bit thanks to Ben, and really worked her way into Final 3. Now, did she have the correct read at Final 3? No, but we all make mistakes. And that's why I kind of want to believe in her, and I want to believe in her rising. Why does she have an S on her player card? She's the only Erin. I spent like 20 minutes looking for another Erin on this thing.
I think
it's to differentiate her from other Erins on the other seasons. Same thing with Sarah, like because it's Sarah G versus there's like Sarah X and stuff, but it's not on the
Erin
season.
Murphy.
She'll just be Erin.
Oh, like Erin, the first boot of 4?
Of season 4, yeah. In case anybody thought she was coming
in
back.
case anybody remembered her, sorry.
That's true. All right. So
any other Erin thoughts? So Erin, the first off the board in sort of the chaotic group of season 3 characters, I would say.
I had Erin. If I had gotten idled, I would have picked Erin next. So I think it's a good value pick. I don't think she'll be seen as like a huge player because of how much like emotional baggage she went through, but she was a really good player. And I think she could be a real contender here, who's also like got a pretty high approval rating, like Q score meta game now. So I think it's a good pick.
I'm just a little worried because of all those people in the season 3, like with all that drama. I believe it was in the reunion, you were all saying like it's still going on, like to this day, like there's still like relationship like stuff going on, and like I'm just a little nervous if that's going to come to the forefront, especially in these early votes with those. And if you looked at season 3, you have the winner here, but I think this was Erin's season. She's the face of the season that I remember. And that's going to be a big target, I think, because if you want to add like a tick to your resume, I think Erin is a big name that you can like add, like I got Erin out. So that's the only reason I'm nervous for her. But I think she's got good instincts and I think she can be a good player. It's just how can she deal with the reputation she has now as the good player?
Right. So some interesting commentary on Aaron as we move towards the end of round 3. Joseph, you have 2 picks, so this will complete your team, which so far has Megan and Bailey. So 2 picks here. Let's get your first one.
Okay, so I think piggybacking off kind of the last pick, obviously like season 3 holds like a lot of baggage, and I feel like at least, I don't know if it'll last the entire season, but I feel like at least early on, I feel like the votes are going to be dictated by like a lot of drama that happen between people, where people immediately because people don't want to play with people that they have drama with, and obviously like we don't know the exact drama, but like based on like what's been depicted, we can kind of have a sense. But I think from season 3, one of the people who like avoided all the drama is the one who actually won. So I'm actually going to go with Dylan for my first pick of the.
So where do people stand on Dylan, the only winner in the cast? How do people think that's going to potentially impact his chances?
Dylan is like the type of person who could win twice. Like, he has the right demeanor for it. He puts people at ease. The only worry I have with Dylan, and he was also the next person on my board, was I don't know if he will be like as willing to put in the like insane amount of time. To the point Naomi made earlier, like, you have to really put in an insane amount of time for these all-star seasons and go crazy. And I just don't know if he'll quite want to reach that level. He seems like a little bit too cool for the other people, but I love Dylan. He's one of my favorite characters across all of Michigan. So I will be rooting for him. And I think he is just very naturally good at these types of social situations.
Yeah, I agree with Austin. Dylan, I gotta tell you, Ian, every time you hit me with a wow, that was something, I laughed my ass off. Like that joke never got old for me. And when he won, I was like, hell yeah, Dylan won. Like, I'm such a fan of his, and to see that he came back, I was like, this is the best day of my life. But I agree with everything Austin says. And if you're a winner who's slacking off, are people going to give you any room, any sort of wiggle room, or are they just going to cut you the first chance they get?
Yeah.
I think one thing I've kind of thought about as far as like when there's returning seasons and there's very few winners on it is like, obviously there's the sentiment of where like in at least like older All-Star seasons, it was like, do we really want, like, does the jury want to like pick another winner to win again, or like would they rather see someone new? But I feel like in today, like more modern Survivor, if like you're a winner and you get to the end, it's almost like more respectful if like you can do that, because it's like you have that target on you from the start. So the fact that you were able to like win again, I feel like I think Dylan's someone that I think if he got to the end also, like, he would just win based on the fact that like he did win before, and it's like it's hard to say that like, because then he could just very easily make the argument like, oh yeah, like I've won before, like you guys should have cut me and you didn't. So
yeah, I think Dylan's most troublesome area is going to be surviving those first couple votes where people could just think of him as an easy vote. Like, for example, with the rumblings of a day one vote out, I think he's an easy target. He's the only winner. So I think if he can get past those first couple votes, then I think he could be primed for a deep run.
I think in another sense, like my last point is that you can almost sometimes be so big of a threat that like you become not a threat, because it's like if you're so obvious to take out, it's like some people kind of start second guessing it. Like, is this really like the obvious move to make, or is there maybe something else? And I feel like if it happens enough times, Dylan's also someone who's like a bit, he won a couple he did win a couple, he won the tag the team up challenge, but
yep.
I feel like he's somebody who's still like probably going to be a challenge threat if he were to make like the merge and stuff. So, and he feels like somebody who, like, if you give him like an inch, he'll take a mile. So
all right. So Joseph, you've got a person from season 2, season 3, season 4, maybe trying to fill out your team with somebody from season 1. Possibly there is one person still on the board from season 1, but 6 players on the board. Who is going to be the last pick for your team?
Well, it is kind of funny you mentioned that, because the one for the other, on the flip side, even though I picked the winner, I think my other pick is going to be the first boot. I think I'm going to go with Sarah Gallagher.
All right.
And I think, well, I feel like strategically it kind of makes sense, because I feel like there's no way she doesn't at least improve on her standing. So like it kind of guarantees my team 1 point at the very least. But I also think she's someone that, like, because I feel like with the amount of connections that happen that people have with each other, but the fact that like it's not all positive. I feel like people always kind of look for like the free agents, so to speak, to like add to their group to like maybe get more votes. So I feel like she's somebody that like people will approach because and like I was watching the like your guys' casting video, and you guys said that like she hadn't really been like involved, and like it was going to be more of a surprise to everyone. So I feel like she's kind of someone that people will like try to like see how to like see how they can work with her. So
It's true. I think only Emily P and maybe I think Sam knew that she was going to be on the cast. So
it's sort of leaked out.
Did it? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the end, I think a decent number of people have figured out she was going to be on.
True. We tried to tease him and send a cryptic message that implied cast 23. Some people thought John Mish was going to be on because he was doing dental school at Michigan. So that was, I think Tom created that rumor that John Mish was going to be on. He was pretty certain. But John Mish is not on the season. So, all right, Naomi, you are up next. 5 people available to complete your team, which currently has Crouch, Aaron, and Bree. Who is your last pick?
So I just want to say Sarah G is so good at Survivor. I think that Michigan was just a start for her, and she has gone on to like really blossom as a player. And I also think she's really funny and super underrated. So I hope she gets episode titles. I'm going with I'm just going for points here now. I love Nick, but I'm going for points. I'm taking Dr. Will.
All right.
Give me those episode titles.
Will is off the board. I can put him in here as Dr. Will. I think
so.
Put some respect on his name.
Yeah, so there you go.
Will went unpicked in the other group's draft. So what do people think about Will? You know,
I think one of the things working against him is that he said that he's a paranoid player, and while he argued that yes, it keeps you sharp, I think because the perception of him is that he is paranoid, that's gonna disincentivize people to want to work with him, because I think he could like flip on a dime. He's had so many rivals between Jesse, between Ben. That's just someone, if I was playing, I don't know if I would feel comfortable like working with long term. So I'm honestly really surprised with this pick, Naomi, but
yeah, I think he's going down in a ball of fire.
Yes, but what did we just say moments ago? That it's the people who are the most obvious boots that often don't end up the boots. And I think that he has that upside. And not to get too into Survivor Maryland All-Stars, but I think sometimes the wild cards, you know, first of all, they get it out of their system the first time around. And then this time, I think that Will can maybe, like, he still made, how far did he make it? Final 6, final 5?
Yeah, fifth. Yeah,
fifth. He made a fifth. Like, you know what I mean? I believe. You know, like I believe.
You know, the one benefit might be that people didn't see Will's season, and so they didn't see the confessionals because that's a different level of unhinged. Now, as the only Maryland associated person on the season, maybe that will help Will taking the
that's true.
Torch and
a little best of both worlds. That's true.
I really like Will, so it would be fun if he lasts for a bit, but I don't know. I feel like the stories must have gotten around from production and everything that I just think I don't know if he has a long run in it. Could give you a first boot point too.
I think the best thing that could happen to him is if he ends up on a tribe with Emily P, because I feel like if that drama were to surface, I feel like people might come after her before Will, since I think, at least based, obviously, like, we don't know like everything, but I feel like based on the edit, it felt like Will was a lot more remorseful in that aspect. So
all right, so
we'll still have the idol as well. The idol is still in play.
That's true.
Pick wisely, Austin.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw out who my 2 picks are, and you can basically choose for me. And if you don't like if you want to idol the person that I pick first, then I'll just pick the second person. So no hardship, because I'm happy with both of these. So the 2 people I'm choosing between are Paddock and Nick. On the Paddock side, I love Emily Paddock. I think she's really cool, like as a player, as a person. Just a huge fan of her. Met her recently and completely fangirled me, that is. And like I fangirled her. And yeah, I just think she's awesome. I don't know why. I just like am worried, a little bit worried for her this season. Maybe just like came on very strong in season 3, and maybe will be on the negative side of some of the season 3 drama, or in terms of like how people view her versus like Aaron kind of everyone wanting to like be like, okay, we're not going to do that again. And so I wonder if that'll hurt her. Nick, on the other hand, I think the concern with him is that he almost won the season, came very close, and so was a huge threat, almost the winner. And people will think of him almost as the winner of season 2 because of, Mallory was a really unique case, and I think people will be very worried about him in that regard. To make my pick, I think the upside for me is a little bit higher with Nick, in that we've seen he almost came close to winning, and it's almost like the flip side of the pick of Sam for me, where if things go the other way, like they kind of had a similar position in terms of knowing people and having the savviness and strategy. And so I think Nick's been around the community for a while. I think he has a chance. And so I will take him and then wait to see if Alex will use it on me.
You can have Nick. I wasn't
Okay.
going to pick
Okay.
Nick. So.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. So Nick joins Team Austin, which has Sam, Jackson, Jesse, and Nick. Any other thoughts on Nick? Anybody surprised that second place almost won his season, fell all the way to round 4?
Am I the Nick stan on this podcast? I don't know. I loved Nick when I watched season 2. I was rooting for him the entire way. Anytime he says anything in Discord, I immediately upvote it. And I think that hopefully Nick will have, like we've been talking about, the upside of getting to experience some, just get older, be on be on a college campus a little bit more, reflect on the game that he played, and try and sort of get himself into a new spot. I mean, lucky for him, we do not have a Jack and we do not have a Sarah X on this cast. So he's only really kind of going against Sam in terms of the like people he really beefed with on his season. Maybe Lucy, I don't know. Like, so I think he's got a better shot than we might think. And I was really torn between him and Dr. Will.
Yeah, I feel like of all like the big threats, I guess so to speak, of like all everyone who kind of like made the end, who like were the big part of the season, I feel like he's somebody who's like better positioned than a lot of the others. Like you said, because like the people he was like feuding with on a season, they weren't there. He's still like he's Bree's on the season. He's like he wanted to work with Bree on his season and he never got to. And I feel like that could be a connection that arises. Yeah, I think Nick, of all the like these later picks, I think he definitely has a lot of upside.
Same.
So Austin's team is complete. Alex, you are up next. You have Emily B, Lucy, and Akshay. Your options are Emily P, Tom, and Kevin. We need to be reminded who is still on the board. And go ahead and make your pick.
I'm going to take Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah. I was torn between Emily Paddock and Kevin, but I feel like with all the season 3 drama, I'm just a little worried for Emily's position in the game. Kevin, I think, is someone that showed promise. He was able to help rally that blind side in season 2. And then I think he really just got screwed by the twist, being the leader of his swap tribe and automatically being in the minority. So I think he's shown that he has strategic chops. And I think having relationships like Bailey in the game could help him moving forward. So I think I am going to stick with Kevin.
Is anybody surprised that Kevin fell this far, or was this where most people had Kevin on their draft list?
Yeah, I don't think I was gonna pick Kevin. I feel like he kind of like in a sense made it known like he was like the villain. I feel like I think he's someone that I think like people will like perceive. They say like perception is reality in Survivor, and I think he's someone that's like gonna be it's gonna affect him a lot.
I think Kevin went 5th overall in the other groups. So interesting.
Yeah, there was
juxtaposition.
the person who took Kevin in the first round of the other group said they believed that there was a lot of foreshadowing in the edit for a Kevin redemption narrative. So
I think mainly in the trailer they said.
That's what they were going off of.
Yeah, Kevin's actually going to want to kiss Nick this year. It's going to be great.
Then never know. Back-to-back picks. Might be foreshadowing.
Oh, hello.
All right, so we have arrived at the last pick, and Idol is still in play. So just us, and I guess whoever you choose could be idled or it could not be used. Left is Emily P and Tom. One person will not be picked. If the idol is played, then obviously we'll know what your pick is because it'll be the only person left available. So Dustin, what are your thoughts? Are you thinking Emily P? Are you thinking Tom? Are you thinking try to avoid the idol and play a switcheroo and pick who you actually don't want. Lot could be going through your head right now.
I don't know. I don't know Emily P. I know Tom. Like I said, I don't want Tom, but
Why don't you want Tom?
he's just too chaotic, man.
You don't think he has what it takes to win the season?
No.
Fog of War
But
consumes one's thoughts.
I am going to pick Tom though.
Right.
Mostly for I know he's chaotic, but I really don't think that he's a big enough player for people to really take seriously. So I think that there's potential in him being just kind of taken to the end if that's the kind of game that people want to play. I don't think if Tom makes it to final 3 that he gets any votes. So, but that's a lot higher than what he finished last time.
Alex, you could play the idol and give Dustin Emily P. Are you thinking about doing that, or are you going to take the idol?
No, if he had picked Emily P, I would have used the idol, but
I had a feeling.
So I'm going to let him keep Tom.
Would have had Tom either way. You'll take the idol home as a souvenir. So there you go.
Listen, if I would have picked Emily P, then both of them would have been played on me. What the hell?
That's correct.
So thoughts on Emily P goes undrafted. What do people think? Does people just have no faith in her abilities this season?
I think it's less about like how she is as a player and more just like the perception and like just everything that kind of happened. Because like I've seen some of the other like Survivor Buffalo and stuff. So like I've seen like some other stuff that she's done. Like she's definitely like a really great player. But I think that's also something that works against her in this All-Star game is that she also was like at the top. She like was in a power position. I think just like everything surrounding like how season 3 went, I see it's very slim that she wins, I would say.
So Joseph, you saw Emily kick my ass, huh? On that season. Emily is the standard Diaz Twine of LRG. She has won twice, and it's crazy. But I also think that she's a really good liar in the short term when it can't catch up with her. People can't fact check with each other. There's 10 minutes, there's 15 minutes, there's 25 minutes to strategize. Not when there's days. So part of the reason I didn't pick Emily is partially because of the history of Survivor Michigan 3, but also partially because I know how much she likes to lie. I know how much she likes to fuck with people. And I know that you don't have the space to do that here. And as someone who has been fucked with by her, like I know she's so good at it, but I don't know that this is the time frame for it.
Okay, all right. So we have our teams complete. Does anybody have a team name in mind, maybe based off how your picks are looking? You don't have to make these now, but at some point, anybody see a trend in their
Let's go.
Team Redemption?
Yeah,
right,
my
Alex,
team, they're all going to redeem themselves from, they played a little quieter or they were the villain, and I could see them all redeeming themselves in some way.
All right, the Redemption team, Team Redemption. Anybody else want to give their team a name now or want to kind of sit on it and think and see what comes to mind?
I've been workshopping something with like, there's the Keep Your Torch Lit podcast, something about like keep your shirts off. Cause like, I feel like my team is like real big into taking the shirts off. We'll go keep your shirts off.
Keep your shirts off.
Keep your shirts on or off?
I don't want to be the like stuck up old guy saying keep your shirts on. So we got to go off.
All right.
Shirts off.
Jesse was in some like,
KYSO.
That should be the new the new like thirst podcast for College Survivor. Keep your shirts off. Where they just rank people on, who's most like shirtless.
That would be an interesting and
is that like a Brady's endurance challenge? Is like you just have to have your shirt off, like, and we're gonna stand out here in the Michigan cold. Let's go.
I was saying we didn't do this, but I realized after All Stars that we should have had Brady be like shirtless for like tribals and stuff. That would have been hilarious. I don't know.
He would have agreed.
He would have totally agreed to it. I just didn't think
he was in the host announcement video. So
right.
Joseph, got any thoughts on your team name or gonna think on it for a bit?
I think like the name itself I'll think about, but I feel like you mentioned, like the trend is that like I've got one from each season. So I'll probably like think of something in that aspect. So I'll workshop it and then I'll come back.
What about Maggie and Bailey?
Maggie and Bailey, that's funny.
Well, somebody in group 1 also drafted Dylan and Sarah Gallagher, and their team name was first to last or worst to first. So their team name was, which I thought was good. So did anybody pick
someone named Dylan Gallagher?
Anybody pick in
Dustin? You got any team name thoughts?
Oh, I just I'm torn between two. Like, I feel like I'm gonna just say Swag Dad.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Team
Literal
swag.
swag
You
dad
have
now.
Adam and Tom, so 2 season
That's true.
4s.
2 Dale disciples, maybe. Although I don't think, yeah. There you go. And then Leia and Cooper too.
Yeah, maybe Tom will model
Tom mentioned Survivor Maryland All Stars in the season, so that could have been
That's
the real.
true.
It could
That's
be
true. That's true. That's the
There you
real
go.
foreshadowing right there.
That's
Does anyone
the
have
possibility.
any just general like predictions or any wild takes they have before that they want to lock in now, before the season comes out?
Well, can we talk about the not so secret message, the day one vote
vote
out that
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
you said it on
Yeah.
Twitter, not me. So but I feel like that can't possibly be an actual elimination, but I know that it's gonna stir up so much shit. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be like, Rupert getting voted out or Laura getting voted out and Blood vs. Water. And
There was a lot of pregame chatter.
So
not
you
confirming
don't
or denying,
believe there
but
will be
yeah.
a day one vote out?
I don't think it'll be a vote out of the game. Maybe
Yeah.
like a vote to exile or something for the round while the rest split into 2 tribes or something.
It's a lot to hype up though if it's not a real thing. Like when
No
people
spoilers for,
get back for his challenge, like if you're gonna hype it up in the season trailer, it's got to be something.
No spoilers for my season, but we had a twist that I think might be what this is somebody gets voted out and then they end up choosing the tribes. I think that's something that could be a possibility.
Did you guys
it has been tight-lipped with the tribes, I think, unless I missed something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, none of the tribes have been officially out there. There's some, if you like poke around the trailers, there's some stuff you can figure out, but the tribes have been somewhat under wraps, so to speak.
Totally.
Who is like somebody that is not on your draft team or whatever, and like you're not even sure they will do well, but you're just rooting for them? Or they're like your like, underrated favorite going into it, maybe?
This is my Sans list. This is my Sans list. It's Akshay, it's Adam, it's Nick, it's Sarah, and then everybody and Tom. I love the people who need the redemption so badly on their season. Like Austin, if you will, like an Ashley Roach. I want to see them come out of the flames and like really be the character they were born to be,
Good point. I will say Austin, you can go. Sorry.
No, you go, man.
I was just gonna say, I think everybody, even a winner, Dylan, he has something to prove. When some people thought his win wasn't deserving, wasn't that good. So in terms of revenge tour and redemption, I think it really fits this season perfectly. Everybody, even the one winner, with something that they feel like they have to prove. So.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Dylan because I find him fun all the time. I would love to see Leia make a deep run again. That would be a huge one for me. And I mean, give me Paddock now to prove us all wrong and just take over the season.
Paddock will be on somebody's team unless she's the first boot.
Yeah, but they can't really claim to have. I mean, like, but then it was next level thinking. But
that's true. All right. Well, I think.
Well, I guess that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you guys all for coming on. Do any of you guys have any anything you want to plug for other sort of stuff that people should watch while you're here? I know there's some other
Joseph, when's Survivor in the UCI coming out?
Well, so as far as like footage comes, or like episodes, it might be a little longer than expected. We've had like some issues with like some people not like filming confessionals and stuff, but it's 1000% like All Stars is going to be like filmed and edited. So even if you don't have like necessarily like, if you don't know like how they played before, you'll be able to watch that one once it comes out. We do have a trailer for our first season. It does spoil what happens. So if you want to like possibly wait and see if like it ever comes out, I wouldn't watch it. But if you don't care, like check it out. It's like Survivor at UCI.
Is UCI, what's UCI? I've got a couple things that could be, but what is UCI actually?
Like
what's the acronym?
Yeah. UC Irvine.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Austin, when's the next Survivor Maryland season?
You
might not be the right person to ask.
Let's get Andrews in here. Let's get him.
I'm very excited for season 8. So stay excited, tuned for when that does happen. But if you are really excited about Michigan All Stars and you want some more content, then and you haven't seen Maryland All Stars, then I would certainly highly recommend it. You can't go wrong with the College Survivor All Star season of a lot of people wanting to come back, and I think people, including on this panel, would tell you that it's great fun. So that's all I've really got to plug.
Naomi, don't you have some other survivors in the air?
Ugh, so many. First of all, I mentioned it earlier, but I love the interviews I did with everybody from season 4 of Survivor Michigan. So you should go back and watch those. I really loved the talk I had with Shannon. Dale was like, I don't know how he lives his life. He's so full of energy, it's insane.
He just had a kid.
Yes, he just had a kid. We follow each other on Instagram, I know. But also, again, like I said, if you want to watch, if you're dying in these few days before Survivor Michigan All Stars, go watch Survivor New York season 4 with Emily P and Sarah G. They're really funny, really iconic. We have a new season of Survivor New York coming out in literally a couple days. Not to steal your thunder, we're coming out on a different night, right? It's okay. We're just, it's been a year and a half. I finished the season, you know what I mean? I'm also working on the Live to Give team, which is a really fun season of Charity Survivor. And this season is so good. And I have been editing my little butt off. So please watch all College Survivor and all Fan-Made Survivor. That's good. And then I had a hand in, so.
And go listen to the maybe defunct Survivor Analyst podcast if you want some great interviews and recaps of College Survivor and CBS Survivor as well.
Thank you.
So,
thank you.
And we'd love to have any of you guys on. We'll definitely do some recap shows and stuff like that. So love to have any of you back to talk about your draft team, update you guys, and just give general thoughts of the season. So we appreciate everybody taking the time out of their Sunday night, and be interesting to see how this board plays out. I've already got some thoughts in my head about some interesting teams based on placements, but all that will all become clearly.
Some great picks.
Some great picks, some terrible picks.
Some great picks, some terrible picks, some all the way in the middle picks. You know,
yeah,
we'll have to see how it works out. But
some sleepers, some reaches, yeah.
But yeah, thank you.
Well, Ian and Matthew, I just want to say, make sure you guys savor this. It's really, really fun as you're living through it, and I know you know from other seasons, but there's something really cool about culminating it. But it goes by really quickly. And I know, especially as you're doing the grind of the episodes, it can be a lot, but just make sure to like take it all in and like really, really have fun with this. And I'm really, really excited for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm gonna go watch the first 3 seasons.
Yeah, watch. You gotta watch.
Time. You can binge. You can
watch
College
season 1.
Survivor is
about
very
your team.
bingeable. Yeah, you should at least watch season 1 since you have Cooper and Leia.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
yeah.
Great.
So watch the
Liz.
first 3, and then when I come back, I'm gonna shit all over my team.
realize that you don't like any of your picks or like them more, you know.
Yeah.
But, well, thank
you everybody,
all you guys for being on, and 10 days, very close to the premiere of Survivor Michigan All Stars. I think that it's going to meet and exceed everyone's expectations. I hope so. And some of the stuff that happens, we'll have to see it to believe it, because it is totally wild, as you can imagine, with some of these characters who, as Matthew said, before the season started, you have people stalking him. So if that's what they're doing before the season, what's going on during it?
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, cool. Awesome. All right, well, thank you everybody, and we'll hopefully see some people back on some recap shows at some point. So thank you everybody. See ya.
Good to see you guys.
Bye.